girl, dude.
Jennifer is so much better. She's like wife material, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Jennifer? I don't know.
Get out of here.
Jennifer's like,
get out of here with that orange-haired tramp.
orange.
Oh, I see it right now.
Decibels are a weird thing. Did you know every 3 decibels is twice as much?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That
I just
right
learned that the
there
other day.
is a great way to start the episode. So welcome to 8-Bit Opinions. My name is Fosman, and I'm joined here by 3 of my best friends, the boys. We have Zidane.
What's up?
Nosferatu Cam.
Howdy.
And B-Mel.
Hey.
Hey.
The fat giver. Now he doesn't want to give any facts. He's
I'm all out of facts.
A little shy now because of that.
I got put on the spot. I'm just terrified. Like, what if that's not actually right? Like, what if we're all?
I guess we'll find
all
out.
wrong about that.
Wait, no, like that's right though.
I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So
That's what I read in the manual as far as like radio signal measurement.
Yeah,
And I
I'm pretty
assume it's
sure I
the same.
learned that. Like, I learned that in school, Stanley. I learned
We're
that when I was getting my grade 10.
I just
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like we're all wrong now.
And welcome to the podcast. Recording, we're good to go. So today we've got a bunch of interesting topics that I'm gonna go over with the boys. None of them they even know about. So these are things that I have grabbed.
That's making
they
me
kind of
nervous.
have. I think you'll be all right. You guys kind of have a little bit of an idea because we've gone over, like, it's from the list basically. All of these things actually, except for one question I'm gonna have for you guys here in the beginning. It's something we went over a little bit, I would say, but it's something that I wanted to expand upon because it's relevant right now, for the best way to put it, without spoiling anything early. So that's kind of the format that we're going to go with today. I'm super excited. You guys are super excited. So let's get started. So as you guys may or may not know, probably don't know and don't even care, the opening game for the NFL, bear with me a second, the NFL
boy.
season started today.
Mhm.
And so what does that mean? That means that Madden came out recently, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I wanted to get your guys' opinion. This is on the list. This is what I'm dropping on you guys. This Madden has been the most monetized it's ever been. And I don't know if you guys heard anything, but it was popular. It was like trending on like Reddit, Twitter, like all these things.
I know everybody was pissed off.
Yeah. Do you kind of want to go in for a second as to tell me what you heard? Tell me what you heard about all this.
All I know is it's like the lowest rating, the lowest rated Madden to release to date
By users. I think
Yes.
I think 0.3. I think it's the lowest ever in the history of like anything on the website. So
Is that like the GN score?
Is that
I'm
like
sorry.
a-
Go
is
ahead,
that-
Stan.
Is that the GN score?
Yes.
Okay.
What? How do you mean by GN score?
Like gamers news?
Oh, yes.
magazine score or whatever. Like whoever the critic is.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the users that are giving this negative score.
Oh, like on
Right.
Steam.
Yeah, but not on Steam. It's like, how Rotten Tomatoes has a
Oh yeah, obviously.
Pretentious
Madden
critic.
obviously is on Steam.
Yes.
Well, actually,
But, like,
I mean,
on that platform.
it is on Origin now. They have made moves to put it on PC.
Gross.
But yeah, I don't even know if that would be possible with mouse and keyboard. That sounds really odd. And like again, I'm kind of like throwing this out here because no one's the biggest sports fan, but I used to play some of the Maddens, and I also used to play some of the street games. Now I know some of you did enjoy those games. I liked those games a lot, like the
Like-
backyard football, rough and tumble type games. Those were really fun
Wait.
to play with your friends.
The backyard games and the NBA street games or street whatever
Yeah.
games are totally different games. I would have played those and I obviously I don't like sports very much, but I played the shit out of some NBA street. Oh, so like the 3-on-3 basketball where you could like Yeah, that shit was so much fun. I don't know why I like this so much.
Serving it up.
You get like
Yes.
you get the ultimates and stuff, and you could.
Yes.
No, it was really fun, and you know, one of the bad things about EA and their monopolize on it is that they're the only ones that can like produce a simulation football game like right now. So no one else can even do that.
Oh yeah, they were like the users and everyone was like trying to get EA
Yeah.
to like release the rights to make the game anymore or something like that, right?
Pretty much. That's kind of what they were getting at. But here's the thing, and this is what I want to talk to you guys about the most. Is this, even though all those users, all those reviews, all that stuff that happened, and this is not just related to sports, this is like gaming in general. So I felt like it was topical, A, because like football started today, so it's just something topical to talk about. And then B, because it applies to not only like sports simulation video games, but literally every single genre that's out there, okay? And basically what happened is what I just told you. All the reviews are bad, all this stuff, right?
Mhm.
However, the game has made more money this year than it has in any previous years. Now, I'm going to stop for a second and I'm going to ask you guys, why do you think that is? And then I will tell you, as someone who's played it and knows, like I will tell you. But you go ahead.
It's a monetization. You already said it was the most monetized one.
Well,
the like
They did
NFL
add
Ultimate
extra
Team
stuff.
or whatever, man. That's what makes their money.
So I don't know if I'm anywhere near the mark because I've never really played these games, but I was going to say that it was Did you get out of here? Sorry, Genji distracted me and I totally lost my train of thought. What did I say?
Oh my goodness, Stan.
Yeah,
So
I'm
we're
sorry.
talking about
The
we were
freemium
talking-
model.
yeah, well, we're
That's
talking
what I
about no, not the freemium model. We're talking about
No,
Madden. We're talking about
that's
the
why
new.
that's kind of how I see their monetization thing.
It's a little different,
It's
I
the
would
same-
say.
Well,
I would say it's a little
obviously
different because
different
it's more
model,
so packs. Also,
but
you pay
it's-
$60 for the game up front.
Well, hold on.
That's a big ouch.
I'm saying it's a
Big
similar
ouch.
model because they're saying fuck the vast majority of you. The game can be as annoying and buggy and shitty as we can make it because fuck you. They're going to depend on that like 1% of the user base who will go absolutely crazy. Like the kid who steals his mom's credit
We
card.
have a winner.
It's a whale.
Stan,
It's a whale.
Stan, you
But
got it.
everyone
Well,
buys
I don't
it though.
think. Hold on. No. Hold on. Let me go into this more, and I will. Like, this is my theory, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about this as to why it's like this. And Stan is pretty damn close. The sports simulation like gaming community is a bunch of fucking idiots.
Gee.
Calling them
And
out. Shots
no,
fired.
dude, I'm sorry, but like after all these years, there's no other way to put it, Cameron. I know that's
That-
kind of harsh, I guess.
The one person who watched us is gone now.
I'm not.
So
Man,
here's
fuck it,
my
dude. Get him
retort
out of
to
here
that,
if
if I can
he's
squeeze one in.
upset.
Fuzz, I would say honestly, I think
What?
What? Come
Any-
at me.
no, like
No,
any
no, like
genre,
what?
the user base of any genre is just as susceptible to it.
Nah.
I think it's just the EA is really digging in there. I mean, a lot of games are going subscription. We're all starting to buy our Xbox Game Passes and all that.
I don't think a
nonsense.
lot of other communities would adhere to like all the bullshit that like Madden puts in. Think about it, man. They're like just like typically like consoles, so like kind of like casual gamers, right? They probably play like I'm kind of generalizing here, but get over it. They probably play like Call of Duty and Madden. And
Yes.
that's like their main recipe, right? So
Yeah.
like they are go ahead.
As a video
Or-
game collector, that was a question. That was like me raising my hand in class.
Oh,
As a
yes, sir.
collector,
Mr.
see
Finch.
behind, as you can see behind me, any lot that I see that somebody's selling something, I label them as a bro if I see Call of Duty and Madden, and that's like, it might skip a year or two. It might be like Madden 12, and then they'll get 14 or whatever the fuck it is. But that's all they have is Call of Duties and Maddens, and everybody buys Maddens. Like I said, they might skip a year or two.
Mhm.
Everyone buys them, and
Hey, and some of those older Maddens are really solid. So if
They're
you see
hot-
them in
they're
the
hot
garage,
garbage.
Pick them up. I think some of the older ones are really fun. personally, because it was more so simulation like franchise football. And like that's what a lot of people are asking for, but they don't get that. They get the ultimate team. They get there's this totally new monetized mode in the new Madden. It's like almost like a single player experience, but you're like doing challenges like the exact same way. And then they've added a lot of uniforms and stuff and costumes and cosmetics to like monetize it even more. But let me just bring it back like real quick, because I truly, you guys might not, if you disagree with me, please like go ahead and tell me. But think about like kind of what Zidane just said and what I said. Like think about the group that plays these games. Think about how they don't really, maybe it's the only game they play and they don't care. And like that's fine. But like I truly believe that that's like kind of the root cause of all this, because the user scores are down, people are hating on it. Like all this stuff is happening, yet it is still incredibly successful. And part of it might be like what you said, Cameron, because EA does have such a successful monetization in this field. Like they've chef's kiss perfected monetization when it comes to this.
Sadly.
But
yes.
yeah, but I truly believe that that is like the root cause of the problem is this community is worse than others. Like you can't tell me that the same communities that like JRPGs would stand for something like this in their games. I just straight up I don't believe.
Wait, let me throw something in here.
Go ahead.
You sitting on bubble wrap?
No.
Oh, okay.
And what was that game? Entropia Universe
Oh yeah.
that we watched?
Yeah.
Isn't that game like people spend millions of dollars to own planets or something crazy?
Yeah, but
And
And then people
they
pay
make-
to go to other planets, like to go to your planet after they bought it, so they make real money off of it.
yeah, I was gonna say you actually make real
Oh.
money off that though.
That's true. That's totally different. But I just had to. That's all I could think about when you talk about video games and money. I'm like, that game. We watched them stream. I didn't
was
understand what we
hilarious.
watched.
I loved that. I was genuinely worried. We watched this one guy, and he was listening to he was this kind of like fat white dude, and he was listening to some gangster ass rap. Like this was like 50 Cent, like
was very
Ice Cube,
gangster.
like old gangster rap, right? And he was just sitting there playing that game.
He's
Like
just having a
bags
good
under his
time.
eyes. I was kind of worried for his health, but like he was having a good time. And the funniest part, I don't know about you, Cam, but I was having so much fun watching that guy play that fucking game with his buddy.
It was just
Him and his
weird.
buddy were just farming that shit.
Was that the one where they kept jumping into a spaceship and they'd fly and jump out? Yeah, I remember that.
I'm pretty sure they were kiting like a mob. I think that's what they were doing when I don't know anything about that game. I want to be the new Entropia like god. I want to spend like $10 million on that game and own
That's
my own
real
planet
money, sir.
and invite you all.
That's yeah.
That's real money.
Dude, let's do it. I want to host it.
Absolutely not. You will get not a cent from me.
That's probably a sound business plan right there, Zidane. But anyway, so like my point, I just had to vent to that, and like I said, one because like the season started today, and that game just came out like weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of people, myself included, who would really like a good simulation football or just any kind of sports game. I feel like 2K is the only one that kind of does it well. But because of like the community, like I just feel like it's never going to get there, despite what people do on the internet, like users, despite what people say on Twitter, Reddit, whatever. It's never going to get there because at the end of the day, there's still like this stupid part of the community that is shelling out money to EA and what's the term? Like enabling them to keep doing this process. And I mean, if I was EA, I wouldn't like get fucked, dude. I'm 0.3 on Metacritic. Who cares? I just made $2 billion. So fuck you. But
I don't think it'll last.
I feel like a lot of you guys even said like before, like I feel like all of you said like when you were younger, you played at least some of them with your friends and you had fun. And like I just want to go back to like that time of the game when it was less monetized and more just fun simulation football. You could play with your friends and have a good time. Because I remember I have a bunch of memories with all my friends, and they were all more so like jocks, I guess you could say. They were still nerdy though, but like they were more so into it than I was. But I still had a blast playing with them and doing that. So I would hope that someday that it goes back to that and we regress, but it's
Never
probably
gonna
never
happen.
going to happen. But I think if that community changed its way, then it would. I believe that. Why not?
EA is a
Why-
horrible company.
But if they literally didn't have those people doing that, I feel like some change would be made at that point because then
So
I don't know.
so tell me a little bit about exactly how they've monetized it, because I don't understand what part of the game is monetized. Like, is
So
cosmetics or
sure,
characters?
that's a great question, Stan.
Definitely characters.
I'll be very brief. Yeah. So actually, the characters thing they added this year, but
The characters are like real
basically-
life players, right?
basically how it works, Stan, is they copy and paste. It's funny, guys, because in the training mode for Madden 20, if you go in the training mode, you look at the boxes on the side, it says Madden 19.
Saw
So like
something on
in
that.
20, yeah, so like they just copy and pasted that shit over and then
Sweet.
brought it to the new game without even like that just shows how little like attention to detail they are adding to this. But anyways, back to what you were asking, Stan, is that the main forms of monetization, especially in this new one, there's two. There's the Ultimate Team, which is the big that's the cream of the crop for
That's
EA.
PvP right there.
Hot dog.
Yeah, it's basically a PvP mode where like me and you would go up against each other, okay? And you would have a bunch of cards that makes up your team. And I would have a bunch of cards that makes up my team of like actual players or old players in the NFL. And then we would compete. We would play a ranked match, and whoever, then it's just like a normal football game. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. And then they also, this is kind of what pissed a lot of people off, is this year they added this whole new mode. I'm really sorry, I don't remember what it's called right now. I could look it up, but they basically added a bunch of monetization for like, maybe you could look it up for me real quick, Zidane. I don't know, but
It had to be Cam or Stan.
gotcha.
I'm not at a computer right now.
Huh. Huh.
Yeah.
Basically they've just added all these different. That's the main way that.
So in the
monetize.
PvP mode, like, do they buy like cards? Do you buy
Yeah,
packs of cards?
100%.
So
Yeah,
they're like
they buy these like and the packs can be worth as much as the actual price of the game. So like you could pay $60 for a pack of cards.
Sounds retarded.
Yeah, it's terrible.
No, thank you.
What do you think about that, Stan?
What was the pricing again? Repeat that.
It
for me.
ranges, but it can be from like $15 to $80.
$80.
Yes, sir.
And
For imagining
assume you're
players on the
buying them
screen?
different like
Yeah.
tiers.
They
Like
don't even look like the
the
real
$80
players.
pack, you get like a guaranteed, like at least one.
Your
gold
chances are really good. You get really good stuff, all that. Yes, Mr. Ayler.
How many? So you said $80. How many fucking characters players you get for $80?
It would depend, I would say. The last one I played was like 16.
How many
And-
people are on a football team?
How many people are on a football team?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
Like
have
on the field at a time,
12.
on each.
12.
So that's insane because if you think about it, you spent $80 for not. I mean, you get a whole football team and a half or something. Quick math, bad math.
Not even that,
bad quick
really.
math. Yeah. So you're basically looking a little bit more than a football team for $80 in another game. Like, I don't know why Valorant came to mind, and their monetization was fucking terrible because of how expensive it was. But I think if you were to buy a character in that, it was only like $10. And I think, you know what I mean? So you're because I'd consider your whole team what your player would be.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and you're right, Cameron. That is how it works. You're absolutely right. Your whole team, your whole entire starting team, is what consists of you, the player, right?
Exactly.
So you want all those pieces in order to be successful. You're 100% on the nail about that.
So one thing Cameron said made me want to circle back a little bit as far as like, I think other communities are susceptible to this too. Cameron added one more example to my list, but I was going to say The Sims and Valorant are pretty like decent examples of recent games and pretty unique communities that just have like ridiculous monetization. And I've always thought it was ridiculous.
What was the first one you said? I'm sorry.
The Sims and
Sims is
EA.
Sims is EA as well.
yeah. And honestly, so
Can you tell me about Sims like monetization real quick, because I don't know a lot about that.
you
I can
buy
still hear, I'll be right
you
back.
buy the base game, which normally when it comes out is like the price of a full new game. Honestly, The Sims 4 I think was the latest one. It
Yeah,
was pretty
it is.
tough. The Sims 3 was really good. Sims 4 was pretty scuffed. It actually like missed a lot of features from The Sims 3 that I liked. Like in The Sims 3, you could actually like kind of go into first person view on your sim and like walk around your house. Like you couldn't walk around the house, but you could move the camera around your house from the perspective of about where a Sims perspective would
Okay.
be. But the monetization is like you buy the full game and then they release expansion packs, which like okay, they all add stuff, but it gets kind of bland. So the
What are the prices? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm just curious, like what are the prices on these? Like is it like 15, 20?
So there's
I want to
there's-
say normally 40 to 60.
there's stuff. Wait, but there's stuff packs and there's expansion packs.
Yep.
I really like the YouTuber Lazy Game Reviews, Lazy
Mhm.
Gamer Reviews or something. I
Yep.
don't know.
Shout out.
And yeah, shout out to that guy. Tag us, hit us up. We'll get you on the podcast.
Yeah, hopefully. We don't
So- Like I really like his content, but like I really like his Sims reviews. I don't know why, but he reviews stuff packs and expansions. And I don't even play the Sims, but he's just good to listen to, and I'm curious to see what gets added in those things. So I think a stuff pack's like $15, and then a expansion pack's like 20 or 40. Yeah, I don't know. Sandal,
I'm gonna
So-
guess 30.
So did
So
you
the-
say 15 to 40, Cameron?
I think so.
I'm looking at their website and I literally cannot find it.
Because they don't want to advertise that shit because
They
it's so
do
expensive.
not.
Because if you were
You
to
might be
buy
able
all
to-
of them,
Find it on Origin, Stan. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Cameron.
Origin's a good one to look at.
Origin. So GameStop.
Sure.
sure. So if you were to buy all of them, like I think it's it's easily over $500. I almost want to say it's like more than like 1,000 if you were to buy them all at full price.
And I
But
guarantee someone out there has.
I'm sure. But
So
that's
is
probably the
this-
only game they play. So they would be willing to. That goes back to you Madden. So maybe people are more willing to do the monetization shit because it's the only game they play and they don't care to just pump money into it. So
Okay.
same thing with like people who play fight simulators. That whatever game me and you played for a
DCS?
while. Yeah. So those
That game's
planes, we never
hard.
bought a plane. It
I
was
did.
free to fly 2 around. You did.
I bought
Those planes were like $40, which I can see it being worth it
if that's all you play.
if that's all you play. You had a big flight rig
Because I
set
mean,
up.
Don't you have an actual like flight like knowledge and appreciation though? So
I
I
w-
could kind of see you
That's Jack.
enjoying that.
Yeah, that's more
That's
Jack,
Jack.
more Jack than me. But yeah, I do really appreciate it. I've
So-
sunk some time into the flight sims.
Sorry, keep going, Cameron.
Yeah, so I just want to bring that back one time. So like people who go above and beyond and build the whole flight setup where they've got like a cockpit and whatever, of course they're going to just start pumping money into that game. They already pump money into their setup, like,
Mhm.
and then
For
or
sure.
people who play racing games, iRacing, like that one kid who's really good at racing that gets in the Discord sometimes. Like he's spent a lot of extra money into iRacing, which is already a subscription game, just to get content to play. So if you're not paying for that subscription, your content you already paid for is locked behind it. I mean, it's just crazy. People, if
then-
you're committed to something, you're going to spend the extra money, and I don't.
I
blame
hear
them.
you guys, but one thing I want to say in retort, and then I'm gonna bring it right over to you, Zaidane, is that
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
No,
it's
no,
fine.
go,
I was
go,
just-
go.
I was
I don't want to.
I was gonna say,
go.
well, then if they're gonna make, I mean, we're already moving that way anyway. Then the Madden or like the sports area of video games needs to be subscription based.
Yeah. So honestly,
and they just update it like iRacing because it's stupid and asinine to pay $60
every year for nothing new.
every year for minimal content change.
yeah, I mean, if
Thinking
you're gonna
about that,
pay,
Zaidane, and like, if you were to do that, and EA was to keep going on the model they're going right now, like not updating franchise mode, only updating the rosters, adding these different ways to monetize. I remember back in the one I played in 16, they added a really cool mode called draft mode where you could you went through 15 rounds and you would draft players, and you'd bring the players on your team. And this was a totally free mode. I grinded it. It was super fun. They don't have that anymore. Now everything added is monetized, and it takes away from that experience. So I think you're right, Zidane. If they went to a subscription model for Madden and like these sports type games, that would be really beneficial for people. And I think that's a really good idea.
EA,
Just
sign me.
Sign me up.
Well, I was gonna
They're
say
running the
just
spreadsheets like we're losing money. This guy's
like-
a fucking idiot.
of like game quality. So like, yeah, I liked what Zidane said. If you're at the point where you're just paying for nothing every year, you may
Yeah,
as
it's
well
kinda
just
like a-
make it a subscription, because
Yeah.
honestly, wasn't the latest release of Madden pretty scuffed? Were there like a lot of problems with it too?
I think you're kind of thinking. So I'm pretty sure the last one was like really, really scuffed.
Was
I
it
haven't
the
heard
last
too
one?
much about this one being scuffed. It's more so people were upset about the other aspects, But the last one definitely was for sure.
19.
I think they just need to make one
Well,
good
20.
game, like one pretty good like game engine, and then they just need to like update characters over time, like as an online service. They could even, I mean, it's already in seasons, I'm sure, but
Mm.
Don't make money that way.
I don't give a
True.
shit.
I feel like you
That's-
would make more money that way because you charge a monthly subscription somehow, and then you nickel and dime them for
Let's
content.
say it's $9 a month, $100 a year.
That's a scary slope, Stan. Nickel and diming.
Think World of
in-
Warcraft, but there's also an Epic Game Store.
Ugh.
Like those two combined, like monthly, like significant monthly subscription, and just like
Epic.
It's only a
stupid
matter of
crap.
time for all gaming services are that way, which is sad.
I can't wait to turn on my computer to pay my Windows 10 subscription, to pay my Steam subscription, to play my PlayStation
No.
Network subscription, so I can get on my boosted Discord server, so I can try to stream.
That's scary accurate.
Yeah,
Like,
everything, yeah, everything wants to get you on a service, and like Google wants to like run it in their data center for you, and
Yeah.
serve it to you with negative latency.
Negative latency.
Yeah, okay-
Wow. That
okay,
sounds
Google.
amazing.
Okay,
That
Google.
sounds amazing.
It,
Yeah,
it
Google
actually
sounds
knows
true.
what you're gonna do, and it pre-renders it for you.
Wow, that's amazing, Zidane. I can't believe that they've done that. I'm so excited. All right, so that was my question. That's what I wanted to rant with you guys about because it is topical. Go ahead, Stan.
I just want to put one more thing on top of that. I think
Sure.
all of this is like a brightly burning fire. This isn't sustainable. Like you can't just make
That's
the
a
same
big
game
statement,
like this
kinda.
for so long. Well,
Well, they have been for 20 years.
I'm
30
just saying
years.
something's got to change here because like everybody's shitty. We're moving in different directions. Games are just they're becoming different, and
100% agree with
I
that.
mean, I just think maybe what I'm trying to say is that the model, I don't think it has to change, but it has been changed, and it's way different now from like the older Madden games. And it's kind of like we're almost in a weird in between phase where things are just blowing up and going crazy in the in between.
The awkward
until
teen stage.
I guess eventually, I think we're gonna blow up. Everything's gonna go subscription based. That's gonna be a fucking catastrophe.
Yes, it will.
And then like maybe eventually we tone that back a little bit because like you used to have to get like a few subscriptions to get on the internet, didn't you? You have to have obviously you have to have your utility and then like get your modem, buy like your AOL time or whatever, and then buy like your wasn't there like a premium like online only service for like or was it the paid browser?
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, so like
Did you
I
guys
mean
hear of this gaming browser? Have you guys heard of that?
That sounds like garbage.
Stan, you're laughing. Did you hear? Like, do you
I-
know what I'm talking about?
I think I heard that's something recent, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
ridiculous claim.
A gaming
Yeah.
browser.
It's like it's right next to negative latency. Opera GX, I think is what it's called, and it
Negative latency.
Dude, if you don't use e-links from
dude,
Terminal,
you get you get double negative latency if you use Opera and no, I'm memeing. But But yeah, no, you guys are right. And I think you're kind of right. We are kind of in this like in middle of the road type thing right now, kind of like the awkward teenage years, as citing.
Yep.
Perfectly put. I like that a lot. With gaming and just where we're at right now, and it's definitely interesting to see where it goes. And with this new thing in Madden, it seems like even when gamers say something,
They're still gonna go out and buy the game.
Yeah, and it still doesn't change. So that might be a sign of how it will be in the future. I mean, who knows? I just wanted to bring it up and talk with you guys about it because, like I said, it's topical and it was something that was going around, and I really wanted your guys' opinion, especially people who haven't played those games as much. Should have had special guest Logan in, but he doesn't really play Madden too much.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Get on them
Plays 2K.
sticks.
He plays
Get
NBA
on them
games.
sticks.
So are we good?
Good.
We're good.
Okay. All right, awesome. So the second, well, actually, the first topic, I guess, I wanted to bring up today is
I'm getting excited.
He is excited.
is the anticipation just killing you guys? Have I brought you to the edge and you're just like,
I hate surprises. If someone's like, "I got you something," I'm like, "Tell me what it is, please."
I'm raising my eyebrow at you.
please tell me what it is. I can't take this any longer.
I hate
All
it.
right, I'll tell you. So what I wanted to talk about is something that is near and dear to my heart, and I know it's something near and dear to all of your hearts. It kind of goes back to a type of game we talked about. Bear with me a second, Zidane. Don't get angry real quick. We talked about MMOs last week. Now, we're not talking about MMOs at all. That's not what this is about. What we're going to talk about today is related to that, kind of in a way. It's single-player games, and more importantly, single-player experiences, and what you guys consider some of the best single-player experiences out there. Now, I'm just going to kind of let that settle a second, and then I'm going to go into a couple of stuff that I really like that'll like give you a chance to, think about it. Like I said, I'm springing this on you guys, all this stuff today. So yeah. So one of my favorite single player experiences, it's easily like a top 3 for me, is actually Be Bold, Fosman. This is my favorite single.
Talking
Be
himself
Bold,
up.
Fosman. This is my favorite single player experience that I've ever had. I went back today. I played it a little bit just to like reaffirm to myself that I love this fucking game.
I know what it
And
is.
guess what? I still fucking love. You guys know me so well. You guys, I still love this fucking game. It's okay. I'm
What
just
is the
gonna say
game?
the name and then
Yeah, what is
What's the name of the game?
What is the game, Zidane?
Mass Effect?
Nah, MLR, Kingdom Re-Reckoning, or I don't know the title. It's weird.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
We have a winner, but it is
Re-Reckoning.
not. It is. We have a winner, but it is not you, Zidane.
Oh, Mass Effect.
Kingdoms of Amalur is a really, really good game. But
was
would I
Mass
consider it
Effect.
like one like top tier? No. Would I consider the Mass Effect trilogy a top tier single player experience? Absolutely. Let me tell you why. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to do anything like that. Though, to be honest, if you haven't played a game from 13 years ago, that's on you. It's a science fiction, like space opera RPG. It's very character driven. It's very universe building driven. So like a lot of Mass Effect strengths come from its races, its planets, its lore, its universe. Literally, its universe. It's the whole fucking Milky Way. And then all the characters that interact in it, the politics. And then on top of all that, even the gameplay is something that's really not not something to scoff at, especially for a game that's older now at this point. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think one aged gracefully, but the other two.
How dare you? Get
It's-
the fuck out of my world,
it-
man.
It's
I think one. I disagree completely, man. I think one aged beautifully.
It's
like a
clunky.
fine. You're clunky, like a fine wine, dude. It aged like a fine
Cheese.
wine down in a cellar, dude. It's just sitting there, perfect. I Stan Zidane, I totally disagree, man. I think the like facial animation and like how the characters look, the environments, I think those all look really great for a game made in 2007. I really think that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it looked better than fucking Andromeda that came out in 2017 or whatever, like a decade later, a
Mhm.
decade plus, right?
Mhm.
It looked better than that game.
Are we playing the same game?
Yeah, we are, dude. You're trolling.
No,
I know you're trolling.
I'm not.
Because
Though.
are you really serious?
I just don't think
What?
it looks that good.
Like what? Like what doesn't look good? The face? Like what are you saying? What are you saying to me?
I need to see some. I need to like see it. I
Dude,
don't have an opinion.
I don't. Maybe it's your. You do know on some GPUs it's like struggles and glitches out, right? Like it does have
on
that issue.
on NVIDIA cards.
Not typically. It's typically AMD,
Okay,
but
NVIDIA.
so you wouldn't
So-
have that problem. Yeah.
Nope.
I legitimately don't know what you're talking about with that, man, because I think the human and alien, like all the faces look really good. I think the textures on their armor and stuff. Does it look like something from 13 years ago? Sure. It absolutely does. But I don't think it looks bad. I think if you compare it to other stuff at that time, I think it's amazing what BioWare did. Amazing. And so I think that, and then probably the best thing to me and what makes the Mass Effect trilogy is the story. What BioWare created, like when they created KOTOR 1, Dragon Age Origins, and then the Mass Effect trilogy. I mean, at that time, dude, BioWare was just like firing on all cylinders. They were, the company was
That was
churning out the quality.
before EA really dug their claws into them.
I would say that's probably accurate. Yep.
God,
Yep.
we're just ragging on EA. Fix your
We
shit.
did- This is just the EA like shit on fest. EA Activision, they still make all this money. Mr. Ayler, Mr.
Sorry.
Cameron Ayler.
I'm jonesing to talk about some single player games, so I want to go. I want to talk about.
I want to go. Is it my
Okay,
turn?
I
Let
have
me
to-
just let me just finish then on this real quick. Is that I just feel like that it's a really good single player game, and if you care anything about characters, world building, or just really good storylines, like immersive, kind of like mysterious sci-fi epics, like you could not pick a better game other than like the KOTORs. That's like the next best thing. And I would encourage anyone to like who hasn't played it to play it, and I would encourage anyone who has played it to go back and fucking play it again. Go ahead, Cameron.
So I have purchased all three of those games because of you.
The
Never played
remaster's
them.
coming out next year. by
I'll
the way.
buy them again, I guess, and then maybe I'll actually play them. But I've never
Me
actually
too.
played it.
What?
What?
You've
never
never
actually
played?
that game. No. So
No, neither have I.
Look at that cutie.
I know I am. Thanks, Foz.
No.
So just because when you said BioWare, I was like, okay, you're almost blanketing like those single player games are all really good. And I've never been a big BioWare fan, I guess, but I even talked about this game a lot in our last one. I think one of the best and easily in my top 3 is Oblivion. It's so damn good. Like I've played through that game.
So like that's on my list that I typed out while listening to you guys talk at the top.
How dare
So
you?
it's probably just easily one of my favorites. And then I think
It's
that
on my top 3 as well, for sure.
Bethesda used to be in this like god tier of how good their stuff was, because Fallout 3 was fucking amazing. I remember being a kid playing like Halo 3 at the time, and I watched videos on that. It was like one of the first YouTube videos I got into, was like trying to figure out more about this game. And I watched trailers. I'm like, that game looks like nothing I've ever seen before, and I wanted to play it so bad. And then I loved it when it came out. And then New Vegas came out, and it was so good too.
Yeah, it was.
And Oblivion was sewn in there, and it was so good. In Skyrim, when I first played it, Skyrim has not aged well in my opinion, though it keeps getting released. Like I loved it, and it's just slowly dropped. It's still good, but it's just gotten down. But then Fallout 4 came out, and like I know that this is gonna sound stupid. It's, as a Fallout game, it's terrible. It's one of like a guilty pleasure game of mine to get into and go like just shoot, because it's interesting. It's not, I haven't played many first person shooters that handle well and I can go kill monsters and stuff. Like,
you've been on the record. You've been on the record saying that before too. Like, this isn't something new. You've always thought that.
I like to go in and shoot up a Deathclaw with a shotgun and freak out and kill some ghouls in the dark. Like, it's different, but it's not a fun Fallout game. I go into those Fallout games because that would also probably be my top 3 as New Vegas. Both Bethesda games, but now you hear Bethesda and you're just, goodness, like they ruined it, because 76 and 4, they're not like they used to be. I want to go in, I want to role play, I want to be my character, I want to have like 6 options to say back, all just very crazy varying. Like, you can say something like, shut up, bitch, or you can be the nicest person you want to be, and anything in between. Like, they've thought about it. There's very few instances in those 2 Fallout games, and I'm sure 1 and 2 before it, like, where you couldn't express what you wanted to feel, or like you had options. You had just much more options. And now in the thing, it's like, you can be yes, no, I mean, good, bad, or a sarcastic asshole. Like, it's awful. It's so bad. I'd rather just explore the game shooting people than do anything about talking. Like,
doing like missions and just kind of shooting at everything.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. It was literally, I think, like, it would give you like 3 words or something from what you're gonna say back, and then you could just talk for like 15 seconds and just say a lot more things than what they gave you. Because that was the other thing in Fallout. You didn't actually talk, so those options were like sentences that you could click on, or like a sentence or 2, and it would, you knew what you said, you knew what was coming. Like,
I believe that all RPGs should be that way. I think, and it's funny because I said that, right? But I was just saying how Mass Effect is my favorite single player experience RPG, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that game, it's not like that. I feel like BioWare did a really good job with that, and I almost wish they had never done it, because now other games, like kind of what we were saying the other day, Zidane, about Horizon Zero Dawn, great game, not hating on the game at all, but some of those options, it just kind of drags on. You're just like, okay, let's get through this, let's get to the point. Whereas in BioWare, they kind of refine that, and now in games they just put that in, and it's not as refined.
Correct.
But to bring it back, I agree with you, Cameron. I love that about the old games, and it should be like that 100%. I did have a quick question for you. I didn't want to interrupt you though. What game do you? This might be kind of a tough question, so you can think about it a second. But what game do you like better, if you had to choose, Oblivion or Fallout New Vegas? Because I know that New Vegas is your favorite.
I'd probably say Oblivion, because
I'm kind of shocked. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like I definitely have more time in Oblivion, but I like the medieval magic, knights in armor, stealth, like the options that you have, rather than it's just a wasteland. Yes, you have options in Fallout. You can energy gun, but it's still you're shooting things. Like, there's not different gameplay. But I also just in general like sword fighting kind of stuff.
Kind of like the world too, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and the world. Oh,
yeah.
There's so much to the world.
I've never played Oblivion.
Oh my goodness, Zidane! I've never. How did I not know that?
Did you play Skyrim?
I did.
But going back to how you talked about
It's like
how
that, but like better. I think
much better. So
well, I mean,
back to
at the time, I think it was a better experience when it was a new game.
It's way better.
I think Skyrim was a very good game for its time.
Nah.
What? I mean, so it's kind of the same thing as Fallout.
What were you
like? Maybe
I'm
not
sorry.
as much as another.
I'm sorry, Stan. I'm sorry, Stan. Keep that thought. What were you gonna say, Cameron?
You talked about how Mass Effect is like a 13-year-old game. I'm sure Oblivion's right around that same age, if not the same. I feel like it came out in 2007. I think it
I
might be
think you're
2006.
100% right.
Um,
Or 2006.
Yeah, so I think that game just base holds up very well. Like if you go play it right now, other than the characters, like if you just stop and look at the landscape in that game, it looks
Oh,
great. And the
It's
like
amazing.
on the PC, you can just crank up the settings. I had a buddy when I was in high school who bought an Alienware, and he was just like, "I can't wait to play Oblivion on this," because we didn't build our own computers.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
doing the
yeah,
computer
yeah.
gaming then.
That
He's
dates
just like-
that dates the time like yo, my buddy bought an Alienware.
Alienware.
Yeah,
Where?
it was cool then. It
Are they
was.
still
was.
are they still a
You're right.
company?
Yes.
Yeah.
that's- No,
Well,
I-
they're
yeah.
like more obviously just like a sub brand of Dell.
Gotcha.
Still
It's
there.
like
Like
the
they're a
Dell
company. They've
Alienware.
always been a
Aurora.
sub brand of Dell, though. I thought.
Yeah, but it's like they used to kind of act like their own company. It's like they used to be to Dell what Scion is to Toyota. You
Sorry,
know?
I didn't mean to cut you off, Cam. I was just.
I keep cutting Cam off with my nonsense.
We both do.
Me
No, I
too.
mean, that's pretty much all I had to say. It holds up very well. It's a fucking great game. Inside, I can't believe you've not played it.
If you
I
buy,
will
if you buy it
fuck
for me,
out.
I'll play it.
It's
I'm
like
buying it
$2.
I'm buying it right now.
now.
I'm buying it for him right now.
What are you poor? Don't buy him that.
I'm in the Poe house.
Dude,
What?
guys, never buy a single Elder Scrolls game. Just buy the fucking anthology on Steam or whatever. Like the whole pack, all of it, all the DLC. It's like $30.
Nah, just buy Oblivion Special Edition. That's all you need, baby.
Oblivion Game of the Year edition, $4. PayPal right now.
I can still hear it. I'm gonna be right back.
Dan.
Are you good, Cameron? Is that
Yeah,
your piece? Okay.
I just bought the game, so I didn't. Have to
You just bought the game for this man.
Yes.
can't fucking believe.
Although
it.
Cameron has bought me Dark Souls, dude, and that was fantastic.
Talk
But,
about single player
That
experience.
might be a good transition to let
Well,
my boy Zidane here go.
That'd be my last one of the single player experience. Though I really like the PvP. We'll talk about.
Let's bring it back to that because I was thinking two, but Zidane, go ahead.
We actually touched on it not too long ago with Foz there, but I'm not going off of nostalgia here. It's something I played very recently. Horizon Zero Dawn. The world in it was like it's one of the worlds where you wanted to get lost and you wanted to run around and you wanted to explore and find everything, and you legitimately at the beginning it did a good job of building your character up, because at the beginning when you see these machines, even like the lowliest of the machines, was called a watcher. It's like a scout that alerts other machines that you're there. Like you were scared to fight it, like because you knew you would get your ass kicked. And then by the end of the game, you're essentially fighting a T-Rex with like rocket launchers on its back and like lasers coming out of its mouth.
That's so Japanesey.
But it did a good job of building that character.
Awesome.
Of building that character, because at the beginning you were naive, you were scared, and it built it up to where at the end you were just this badass with your bow and arrow shooting shock arrows, just annihilating everything. And it was something that hasn't really been done before. It was like this tribal thing with like machines that took over the world, and it made you ask questions. And some single player games don't do that or do it well. Like you had no idea really why they were there. You just knew they were there and they wanted to kill humans. And every 5 years a new machine came out that wanted to kill humans better. And it just made you ask a lot of questions. And it kept you invested in the story all the way until the end. I mean, the ending wasn't that great. You kind of knew what was going to happen, but it kept you invested, and that's why I beat it in
3 days.
2 days, 3 days, because I wanted to know more. And that, in my opinion, is a good single player game.
Hey Zidane.
Yes.
I got a question for you from all that.
Shoot.
So one thing that, and you were playing it, I was watching you, you were streaming it, and I was watching you play it.
And it's beautiful in 4K.
Super beautiful. But like what I was gonna say is that something you've already kind of touched on, but like it's wholly unique. If you look at games that are similar to, we kind of brought this up, me and you, but like if you look at games that are similar, like open world games, two of the main ones you could say in kind of that same exact scenario, we got Ghost of Tsushima, which is new,
Right.
but it and that is like a very unique experience, and that's why I want to play that game. But other than that, shout out to PS4 by the way, PlayStation. But if you look at like the other ones like Assassin's Creed and Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, those are both like really. First of all, Assassin's Creed is just like already like rewriting history. Like, there's nothing really new there, other than, and the stuff that is new, like the Animus, is just dog shit. And then we have Shadow of War, which is like an already known IP. It's Lord of the Rings. So one thing I definitely appreciated about Horizon Zero Dawn was its unique IP. I felt like I had never seen an open world game like this before. I feel like I'd never really seen a universe exactly like this before, like just tribal machine warfare.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was fantastic. That's also what drew me into it, because it was so unique. And sometimes the IPs, they just, like Assassin's Creed, they just, they have success with it, and then they just fucking bleed it dry, and that shouldn't happen. Because by the 10th game that comes out, everyone's like, like, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since, like, I think I only played the first one.
And I was sit down, and I want to interview somebody who's like legitimately excited for like every
Assassin's Creed.
Like, I want to know like what goes on right here. Like, I want to sit them down and like have a talk. Like, I just want to figure out, like,
dissect their brain.
I feel like the first thing they'd say is like, "Man, Madden's the best game ever made." Like,
but you don't think that the newer Assassin's Creeds are fun?
Well, sorry, go ahead.
I thought that me and you both played Odyssey, I think was the one. I didn't play much of it. I played a few hours, but
I thought you were 15. Are you talking to me, Cameron?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it didn't feel like Assassin's Creed anymore. What I expect Assassin's Creed to feel like.
But they had to do that because, like I said, they bled the fucking thing dry, and they had to try to reinvent the wheel to bring somebody back to the game.
Right.
So I have a friend, and they really like what was the one before Odyssey? I'm kind of drawn Origins. They really liked Origins.
I don't know.
And they really like well, and I kind of agree with you, Cameron, to where I definitely appreciated Odyssey. I thought there was some really good stuff there. I liked going on, like, I went like on this hunt for like a wild boar. There was another time where I was sailing around, I just boarded like a couple ships, got boarded a few times. So like all that is really fun. I thought the game looked great. I thought that I think in an open world game like that, the BioWare wheel dialogue is good. Even though it does overstay its welcome, it's probably the best way to do it. When it's not like a full-on RPG, it's the best way to do it, I would say. So there were some stuff that I liked. But I thought like Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 were a lot better. And the reason why is because of what you said. Like, it felt more Assassin's Creed to me, whereas this one didn't really feel that way as much. I don't think Origins really did either. But like,
did it at least
Assassin's
have the
Creed
hidden
1
blade?
and 2?
I don't think so.
What? Assassin's Creed without the hidden blade?
I really don't.
I think it does, but like later, because no, there had to be a way.
I don't know. I didn't play much. He said something about sailing. I don't think I ever got that far. So I don't know. I think
it's something that comes later.
I'd hope so.
It's not Assassin's Creed without the blade.
That's what we said last week. But
weird.
But yeah, like I just agree with that statement that I felt like it wasn't like very Assassin's Creed. That's all. I should go back to more so that, but I have checked out of that. I have checked out of that IP. Like Valhalla, does it look cool? Sure. Would you like to be a badass? Who out of the four of us, who doesn't want to be a badass Viking? That sounds awesome, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
you
I don't want
know,
to be no girl Viking.
I'm sure you can
but
be a man if you want
like,
to be.
well, you can be. You know, I actually heard. This might shit on me. This isn't whatever. My mom told me that there used to be. I heard like female Viking warriors was like an actual thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like I actually
Probably.
heard that that's like a real historical thing. As opposed to, because sometimes they just put it in there and it's not like realistic, like maybe like a Battlefield 4 situation. But I think with Valhalla that is at least kind of true, at least. But my point my point, Cameron, is that these games they sound fun on paper. Being a Viking, that sounds really good on paper. But when you realize it's connected to Assassin's Creed, you're just like, well, I mean, it's probably just going to be the same kind of crap that
A
we've
bunch
been
of
dealing
fetch
with.
quests.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff is uninspired. I remember in Odyssey, there was a lot of stuff I did. I was like, okay, dude, I don't want to do this at all. I think Video Game Donkey has like a really good video on Assassin's Creed that's really funny. He talks about how the trailing missions and all that nonsense.
B-Mel.
It's my turn to go. So
Yes, sir.
I've been thinking really hard about this. I made a list. I went over a few. Oblivion was definitely like it had to be on there. That was a great game. So assuming that that's out of the running and I can't pick that, probably my personal top,
Do it.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Out
I
of
mean,
left
so-
field.
all the time,
Okay.
Stan.
I love
Not
it.
for me.
I know.
So
I
here's
love it.
here's my thing. I'm planning a little rant here because I'm just gonna rattle off a whole bunch of other games that are like after this. Because like
Go ahead.
when I built my computer, it was basically just for single player experience games because I was still living at home, so I couldn't play anything online really. So I was all about those, and when I before I had my computer, I just had my laptop. I like PewDiePie and Cryotic were just getting really popular on YouTube, playing things like Happy Wheels and Amnesia. Cryotic was one of my favorite YouTubers for a really long time until it turned out he was a kitty diddler.
All
which
that
is
weird
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
Pruning kids, dude. That's
Fuck that guy.
So there's
um,
actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, him and PewDiePie both played that game, and I thought they were really fun. And I downloaded them on my laptop, and it ran like garbage. And that was around the time that I started playing PC gaming. But I just think it was like a pretty darn good single player horror experience. Like it kind of set in, and I mean, it set the standard for that genre for a while.
It did.
It really did. Because you really still see like that template, like the
No weapons.
walk around here, interact with objects that like glow when you put your cursor over them or whatever. Take it
Can you
here.
guys think of a game before Amnesia? Because I think I never thought about that, Stan,
Yeah.
but you're kind of right. I can't
it
think of
probably
one
wasn't-
personally.
There was probably a
mean-
few, but nothing that got that popular.
It's like when they say Halo was the first FPS shooter, like no, it wasn't. It was kind of like the first FPS console shooter, but the argument is that like a lot of games after it kind of followed suit.
And that's the case with Amnesia.
Yeah, just in the horror genre. And honestly, I haven't seen anything that really does well.
Outlast.
I don't know. There are a couple other games that I really like. So other things I put on my list. Alien Isolation, that was a really good game. I loved that.
Stan
Control,
got
which
the
I'm
horror
playing
bug.
right now. Yeah, I'm still a horror junkie a little bit.
I love this
but,
stuff, dude.
Yeah. Alien Isolation, Control, which I'm playing right now. That is pretty cool. It's kind of like Dead Space mixed with what am I
I would
thinking
not
here?
compare that.
I
game
would
to
not
Dead
compare
Space.
that to Dead Space.
You don't think so?
Personally,
I guess I'm just
it's-
thinking theme.
I mean, it's
because it's like
What do you mean by theme,
Tech-
Stan? Because you might be right with that. Are you talking about like the story kind of?
It-
Even that, I don't know.
it's
I don't know.
sort of sci-fi horror, but I don't feel the horror by any means. The monsters are kind of creepy,
I just
But,
feel
like-
sci-fi horror. I guess I'm just thinking
I feel
of the
too unstoppable
monsters.
to be a
Yeah?
horror.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get to, Cameron. Is that in Dead Space, man? It feels like a fight for your life, man.
It really
So
is.
that aside, wouldn't we at least say those are like Control is a pretty good game as a single player experience? Like we've both been having fun with it.
I've liked it. Yes.
So Soma was another good one in that category.
Yep.
I don't
Can you tell me
remember
what
who
that
made
is?
that. So Soma is the one. Spoiler alert! If you haven't played Soma and you care about that, Soma is the one where you're like a guy who like you have like a brain tumor or something, and it's a little bit in the future, and you live in Canada and you have realistic healthcare and you don't die for that. So they're doing brain work, and they're doing like brain work on him and stuff, but at the same time he's doing it like a research university hospital, so there's like research going on. So he signs up for this, like, I don't know, like a trial of this machine that like maps your brain and turns it into AI consciousness, and his consciousness turns into like an open source platform, like an open source template for artificial intelligence for like the next 100 years.
That's
So like
cool.
everybody, you know, like when you're taking programming tutorials,
man.
your first thing is like your My Hello World
Yep.
program.
Yep.
He was the Hello World of AI. He was like the basic model. So he would like, and it was crazy because it was a complete copy of his brain, like seconds before he died on an operating table or something, or like, you know, however he was when they scanned it, whatever. So like the last thing he knows, he went to the hospital, he got in the brain scan, and then he wakes up and he's like wherever he's been spawned. And he wakes up in this like underground or like underwater facility, and
Kinda
he's
answered
like
my question.
part robot, and he like the game plays with your mind because you keep going and you do this thing, and it's like, wait, I'm not even the real guy. I'm like copy 100 million of the guy trying to survive, and then like you kill yourself and make other copies of you to overcome obstacles like multiple times in the game, and each time the guy freaks out, like did I just die and now me is someone else? It was a great game.
Interesting. I didn't
Yeah, I've
finish
never-
it. I never played it all the way through.
I gotta
I
say, the
liked
thing
it.
that scared me the most about that game, and it's
Mhm.
interesting. I'm glad you brought it up, Sam, because I kind of forgot. Like, honestly, I don't remember any of that from the story. I guess I was just playing the game and not paying attention. Granted, when I did play it, I was like still in high school, so like,
Yeah.
But the underwaterness of the game is what scared me the most.
It was creepy.
It was
Oh.
super creepy. Do you
The
remember
game
that
had
big
super
monster?
creep vibes. Oh yeah.
Ah,
Ooh.
thank you.
So I have two more games I just want to throw out there. Lightning
ahead.
mode.
Lightning mode. Send it.
lightning.
So my next favorite category, I really like the horror genre. My next favorite is probably movement/puzzle solving games, and any combination of the both. So Mirror's Edge is like a pretty high candidate, but I gotta say one of my favorites of all time is a game called A Story About My Uncle, which
What?
I don't know what that is.
it's I'll share it to you on Steam or something, but basically it's a movement puzzle game where you get like a combination of like jet boots and like a lasso, and you jump from like rock to rock in like a city of suspended rocks in the air.
Okay.
And like there's like obstacle courses, the stuff starts moving, you have to like leverage your momentum here or something or all that. And it was just like, it's one of those out of left field things that you download it and it's on. It's just, I thought it was surprisingly good. It had like an awesome vibe going on. It was one of the first games that I played on this monitor when I got it, which was my first 1440p monitor.
Whoop, whoop.
So running it at 1440p felt amazing, and it was just a ton of fun. I love
Buy it for
those.
Zidane.
What?
I might honestly.
Buy it for Zidane.
Buy
I'm
it
gonna look
for
it up on the
Zidane.
store.
Dude,
Hashtag buy it for
You're
Zidane.
gonna start a GoFundMe.
$15.
Make sure
Don't
this
buy it.
man never pays for a video game again in his life.
Don't buy it. Sam.
Chat,
Don't
chat. Every day, Zidane's go without a story
Every
about my
day, a
uncle in their
Zidane
Steam
goes
library.
without playing video games.
Yeah.
If you donate $1 to our GoFundMe, Zidane can play one video game a day.
And he will be
That's
happy.
30 minutes of a video game a month.
Yeah.
You're missing.
That's-
You're
that's a-
missing.
We just
want
need in the arms
Patreon.
of an angel playing in the background.
Patreon?
Patreon.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Those are some really good ones, Stan. Go ahead, Zidane. I'm sorry.
I wanted to add to the single player experience. I really like
No.
the I don't know what kind of game to call it. It's Quantic Dreams. Their games. So like Detroit Become Human.
Mm.
Oh,
I am so happy that you brought that up, dude.
So
Go ahead.
what kind of is that like a
Telltale games. I just call them like Telltale games.
kind
Dude,
of,
that,
yeah,
that game is above Telltale though.
it's
That
so
game is
like
good.
But it's one of those things where it set the genre though.
But you're right, Cameron. I would agree it's in there, but like it kind of like takes it kind of like how Life is Strange took Telltale games to the next level. That game took everything story based.
Quantic Dream though made a game for the PS2 called Indigo Prophecy that is the same format as
Lizzie played that.
and it's a trippy game. It was a good
That's in my
game.
library.
But like they started that genre. You know, forget Telltale. They weren't in
Yeah.
They
Yes,
popularized it.
they did.
Yeah, it was same one that
but-
made Heavy Rain, right? Made
Yeah, Heavy Rain,
Yeah.
another great game. Like that
That's
type
what I
of
thought you
single
were
player
gonna say.
game. Both of them were good. Heavy Rain's good, and Detroit Become Human. The one Beyond Two Souls I didn't play, but I didn't hear many good things about
It's
it.
not very good. I tried it. It's not very good. It's not as good as the rest of them,
Like
really.
you were just, you're sitting there and like Detroit Become Human. You're like, oh, do I do this? If I do this, is somebody gonna die? Am I gonna die? Because your characters can die, and then you're like, they're part of the story's done.
Crazy. Do you know what and you can kill all your characters in that game. But do you know one of my favorite things about that game, Zidane, is kind of like the themes that it deals with, like in the story. Like I think it did a really good job with those type of stuff, like consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
like and it's a trope that's been done before, but I feel like in Detroit Become Human they did it in like a really unique way that I don't fully want to talk about, because if anyone hasn't played it, they should definitely treat themselves and play Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human.
Mm-hmm. Both
I would
fantastic
say
games.
Detroit Become Human is better than
hands down. But
Heavy
they're both
Rain.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I wasn't
Um,
sure if you guys were gonna push back on that or not.
No, those are great games.
I forgot what I was gonna say. My brain went blank. It happens.
I'm gonna step in here. Great single player experiences often come from Nintendo. I really
Yeah, we gotta
like
give Nintendo their love.
any Mario game, especially side scrolling ones. I've played them. I always play them through too. Like I love it. Like Super Mario 3 is probably one of my favorite games of all time,
Good call.
and I will consistently like
Masterpiece.
Fire Emblem. Like I said, I'll play it. Like that's like one of those games I'll like replay like once a year. I'll think I need to go play that. Like I'll play through Mario 3 a lot. Like I really enjoy that game.
That's how you
The
know
whole
it's a good
trilogy
game.
is solid.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but just anything Nintendo. I mean, and their multiplayer, because they have really good local multiplayer, but their single player experiences are good.
They're about the only ones that really have local multiplayer anymore, or even
Sadly.
try to do it.
Sad.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, Cameron, because Nintendo definitely deserves a seat at the table when you're talking about single player experiences, for sure. What is your guys' opinion? I think we've gone over this a little, but I honestly don't remember like how you guys feel about this. So you guys all know me, and you know that I'm not a big fan of like turn-based video games, or like
Gotcha.
basically turn-based would be, I guess, the best way to put it. but-
Turn-based combat or like
Yeah,
turn-based
yeah,
Or, like,
sorry.
Do you mean
absolutely.
like RTS, real time strategy?
No. I
as
actually
well?
really like RTS games, but what I'm talking about is what Cameron said. Turn-based combat. That's the word I was looking for.
Turn-based.
And
tactical
I
combat.
think that yeah, like Divinity like does a really good job of that. But that's not the game. That's not kind of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like turn-based combat, and I'm talking about Paper Mario. I really fucking love that game. I heard the new one got kind of like maybe mixed reviews or something like that. I haven't read too much into that, But I really like on the one on the Super Nintendo 64 and the one on the GameCube a lot.
There's a reason the one on the GameCube is as expensive as it is right now.
Rare.
It's
And
no,
it's good.
it's the best one.
How much?
How much?
I think it's pushing 130.
Buy it for Zidane.
I wouldn't sell it, but hashtag buy it for
Buy
Zidane.
it for Zidane.
Have you played these games before? So Foz and I have talked about Paper Mario before, but there's games that are very similar for the Game Boy Advance. Super Mario Saga,
Yes,
like-
I have.
or Mario and Luigi Saga, or something like that. Like
Partners in Time, and there's a bunch. of
yes, Partner Time is a newer one. I've only played like the original like 2, but like those games remind me a lot of Paper Mario, and I think they're a lot of fun. And if you
They
like Paper
were
Mario, Foz,
fantastic.
you need to pick up. I don't know if you have a Game Boy Advance. It's the best handheld system in my mind ever.
I used to have one, but I don't have mine anymore.
I disagree.
Mine
sir.
sits in a drawer right next to me. WarioWare Inc. is another game I like to go play on the Game Boy Advance. I'm sorry. Single player experience. That game's.
I think he really
fun
likes
as hell.
Nintendo.
I do. Nintendo great.
solid.
It is.
I buy
It
all
really
of
is.
Nintendo's consoles.
Me too.
I wonder what they're gonna do next now that we've got PS5 and Xbox, whatever.
In a couple
Like-
years, they'll release something. It'll be like the Switch 2.
I'm fine with that.
The Switch, but it's just an add-on card for your phone.
Not to divert on this too much, but in my opinion, they're definitely like the superior console right now. It would go like Nintendo and then PlayStation and then
X trash. We kind of got off topic with what you were talking about. You were talking about the Paper Mario games, Foz.
yeah, I kind of let it go, but yeah, I mean, I would like to know your guys' opinions about those games, real quick, if we've got a minute.
Oh, well then,
They're
yeah.
all time
I mean,
you want.
I think we kind of talked about them.
They're good.
Yeah, like I said.
I
Go ahead.
I when the first one came out, like I was a kid. I've said on here a lot. When I was a kid, I always refer to like junior high school, I guess. I'm 25. There you guys go. So
Cameron A.
Like, yeah. So I couldn't just play it and beat it because it's an RPG. So there's it's a lot more than just you're walking around fighting stuff or a side-scrolling Mario, because that's what I would have played a lot as a kid. So like I would have played it, but I'd watch my brother play it a lot, and he beat the game. He'd be in game, and I'm like, I want to be there, and I'd try to play it, and I couldn't catch up. But what I remember playing was great, and I've gone back and played it a little bit as an adult, but not beating it nor taking it too seriously to get through it. But I always liked the shops and the extra items you could get, and then your extra followers, because they'd always do cool shit.
Mhm.
And like, because it made that turn-based combat or whatever, that menu style combat, it spiced it up. It freshened it up. I want to hit A when I land on top of them because it's gonna do more. Or like if I time my B when I'm hitting my hammer or whatever, like
You did more damage.
it's gonna do more. Exactly. I liked that. It made that kind of stuff better. Like, not that I'm dissing on Final Fantasy games. I love the lore of Final Fantasy. Characters are awesome, but like, I can't play through 7 because I just can't sit there and do that. Like, that's why I don't like Pokemon anymore. That's what Pokemon is. But there's just types. I mean, not into that kind of stuff.
Wow,
I appreciate it.
I'm surprised you guys are saying that, or at least you are, Cameron.
I enjoyed the first 2-3 generations of Pokemon, but then after that, it's dumb.
I mean,
But-
I understand because I feel the same exact way. I just thought you had kind of a different mindset.
I
than
have-
I did.
I definitely have an appreciation for it. I just can't do it. I like that goes back to Nintendo. Although Nintendo has a lot of games like that, they have good gameplay. The games that we listed earlier had a lot of story involved, and the gameplay was just because it was a game. You can't
Mhm.
games portray a media that nothing else can. Like, you know what I mean? So gameplay is what Nintendo has in my mind a lot. They also have good story games, but a lot of the times I look for Nintendo because I want to play something that has good gameplay or it challenges me in
Yeah.
a different way than other games. I want
Yep.
to pick up a side scroller platformer. I'm going to play it on Nintendo. Can't do it. It feels wrong to be playing something on Steam that's a platformer. I'm using like an Xbox One controller. I'm just like, I feel like I want a Nintendo controller.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there, Cam. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, that was really well said for sure. I want us to try to wrap up the single player experience, but one thing I really wanted to. Can we bring up Dark Souls, please? Can we talk about Dark Souls?
Please.
Because,
I just played it today.
because
again.
Zaidane's playing again. Cameron's played it. I think he's played it like once or twice. I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Cameron Ayler's played this game like once or twice, maybe. And then I just beat it, and I would really like to like talk about it like real quick because as far as a game that builds a world, builds a universe, the music, the combat, and a lot of the characters,
The
it's one
difficulty?
of the most solid RPGs I've ever played. And I just want to talk about it for a second.
I want to. Can I get in? Can I throw it out first? 'Cause
Cam's going. He's gonna go off.
I don't think we
Buckle in.
have 10, I don't think we have 10 hours yet. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We will talk about Dark Souls a lot here. I imagine it would be probably my favorite game of all time. First one.
That's a big.
And
You're okay with that statement? Like,
Totally.
You feel good about that?
Oh yeah, I love Dark Souls. But you're throwing into the single player category, and I love Dark Souls. I love equal parts in my mind. I love it so much as a lore perspective, gameplay, like back to like I want to be challenged for just doing the gameplay stuff. It's so good. The boss fights, amazing. Just playing the game, amazing. But there's like the PvP side of it is so good. So a lot of my time I've put into the game, I have just got on. I do this. I'd talk about it, and I'd just start to mention like, oh, I saw like someone did this kind of build, and I'm like, shit, I need to go play the game. I need to go make a Fate Dex build. So then I just go create that character, and then I go PvP because you're constantly being able to use that character over and over. So eventually, you keep playing PvP. I mean, you keep doing PvE. You don't get to use that build as much, and there's like it could be weak, but against other players, it's always going to be good. And I could just get on the game. I'd be like, oh, I've played this game enough. I know where every little piece of that set would be. So I need to go get this gear, this gear. So I'd have to play through the PvE content to get the gear. So that's why I've played it so much. And then I'd have these builds and I'd have these characters just sitting there. And I'd be like, oh, cool. If I want to go PvP like a strength build right now, I can. Pyromancer, why not? Like
one thing I wanted to, because I'm really curious about this, Cameron. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to like get this in before you keep going. Is that
I was wrapping it up.
Okay, yeah. But like with the PvP, a question I have, because I only engaged in PvP every time somebody invaded me. I beat one guy, the rest of them backstab meted me to death, and then I was done.
Yep.
But how does? Because I assume it's kind of a grind to get, like you said, Fate Dex build, right? I want to make a Fate Dex build character, and I want to go PvP, right? How long until I'm PvP ready? Do I just have to get the gear? Is there a level? Like, can you explain that to me?
Yeah. So depending on which Dark Souls game it is, I can't pull the number off my head right now for one, but I know at least one of them. Like you want to be level 100 or 125. So playing through the game
Isn't that a grind? Sorry, I don't mean to
yes.
interrupt you again, but like, doesn't
Sort of.
that force you to? Because you said you've got all these characters of these different kinds of builds, right? So
it's
that's kind of a big ask.
It's like a playthrough and then a play and like a half, because once you start to play New Game Plus, you go kill a boss, you'll get 3 times as many souls, or maybe not 3 times. You get a lot more souls. You get a ton more. So it doesn't. The leveling gets so like irrelevant after you get so far, because your gear is your weapon, and your weapon level is really gets gonna go, because eventually you get diminishing returns on like strength. So like after 35, 40 strength, you're not going up 3 points in damage. You're only gonna go up 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's always like a level cap. There's communities out there that talk about it, like Reddit communities or just wiki forums that are like, okay, you want to PvP at this level, or like famous people like streamers and stuff would hold fight clubs. But they'd be like,
That's
okay,
awesome.
so at this time in this place you can come down, and then like you could invade the world, or you can set signs down that let people pick you up to invade, and then you go in and people would lay down like prism stones. So there were just these colored stones in like a square, and basically if you were in these certain covenants, you could attack like any other covenant. So just basically the different color when you invaded the world, and people would just like stand, and you would just it's like an honor thing. You try not to there is an honor code. And some people follow it, some people don't, but a mass majority of the time they do. So like you would just, you wouldn't just go attack. You wouldn't just get into the world and just go, I'm gonna go attack all these people. No, like someone would stand here and someone would stand here, and then you would bow or do some kind of like emote, and then you would fight. And it's depending on, I don't know, sometimes I've seen it both ways, but a lot of the time you don't use Estus Flask. You just have your health bar. That's it. So like
Screw that.
even if you could, nope. That's the honorful way. Like I
Nope.
try, if I do a fight club, or especially if I invade, because it's really fun to invade, I try not to use Estus because I feel like it's not fair. So if the other person uses Estus first, then I'll typically be like, okay, I'll use it now. But yes, Fosman.
I just wanted to ask you, so when you were talking about the streamers, and I remember you showed me a video once. It was fucking awesome. It was where this guy 1v3'd three guys. He 1v3'd them and won in a PvP scenario. How
Yep.
many people realistically could you have like on your server? 8? Okay, that's the
So-
max in is 8. Okay.
Yeah. So when they remastered Dark Souls,
Just curious about that.
which is insane. I'm pretty. It's got to be 8. It's not. I feel like it's not 6. And it's crazy when you see that many people in one Dark Souls
Yeah.
like group, because it's a lot. But that's like one of the big things about remastered. 'Cause I think originally in remastered you can only have 3 or 4. So I think they upped that number with to like what the newer games were.
I just watched a bunch of best of Dark Souls today, like
PvP?
bosses. Yep, PvP and bosses and stuff.
Was it Sunlight Blade?
It
Is
was.
that the YouTube channel?
Yep.
Shout out! Shout out!
I love that shit, dude.
Shout out. Come on the pod. Okay. So that was, by the way, that was great, Cameron. Thank you. Because like I felt like I learned a lot from that, and I wanted to know these things. However, let me bring it back because we are talking about single player stuff. So let me bring it back and let me ask real quick, like, who's your guys' favorite? This is kind of a fun question. Who's your guys' favorite boss in Dark Souls?
Oh, Stan's not gonna have one.
Yeah.
Stan.
Sorry. I'll just go to the bathroom during this conversation.
Sorry, Stan. If I hadn't beat
That-
it yesterday.
That just needs to be a topic in general, video game bosses, but
Well, this is just Dark Souls, just for fun right now.
just Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, Dark Souls 1 remastered. Well, doesn't matter. What is your favorite boss? It can be difficulty, it can be aesthetic, it doesn't matter. Like, what is your favorite one? I'm kind of
Gargoyles.
worried we're gonna say the same thing, Cameron, but
Nope.
I really like Ornstein and Smo
Oh.
because just when they come down, he jumps up, like Ornstein jumps down and gracefully like lands, and he's standing there with like his lance, and then Smo just slams down. And you're like, oh, that's
Shit.
so fucking cool of a yeah. You're like, oh shit, and then the music plays. But then the thing is, when you kill the strat, either way, the strat is to kill Ornstein, the fast guy, first, and then in the little cutscene. Because I don't know if you ever noticed this, because you fucking
Smashed.
two-shot them.
no, he smashes down
but
and like
if, no matter how much so say you hurt them both, you hurt whoever down to like so much health, they'll get all their health back whenever they do the second form. But when he
Right.
hits Ornstein in that cutscene, you can see his hand like grasping, so he's like still alive. He just doesn't give a shit because he's gonna come kill you. Like that amps me up because he's like, I'm gonna take his power and I'm gonna come kill you now because I'm.
Wait,
so
you
badass."
mean the
Ornstein's
guy?
still alive.
He's not
Whenever
dead.
he's dropped, he's not dead yet. You can see his hand like start to go, like clinch.
Oh,
So like Laura, you really. I'm gonna show you another shout out to like Vidya. I can't say your name. I'm gonna show you his videos and you're gonna love it. It's like Prepare to Cry, and he goes over all these Dark Souls lore and just characters per episode basically, and it's the lore
Really
is
good.
so and it just sucks you in. It's so good. Once you start one video, you got to keep going.
I two-shot those pussies, so whatever.
You're like the 1% that did the first time they played.
Yeah.
Zaideen, what is your
Tower
Go ahead.
Gargoyles.
Really? Okay. Why is that?
Bell Gargoyle.
Bell, is it Bell? Oh, I don't remember. Bell Gargoyles.
I'm an addict.
Because in your first playthrough,
Oh,
that's when you're like, oh, shit.
oh, this is a video game. Oh, this is like some real shit.
Yes, it
That's
smacks you right in the face pretty hard.
Yeah.
Especially if you haven't gotten down all the mechanics yet, you know how everything moves. You get fucking smashed.
Yeah.
In the shock of the second one coming.
Yeah, you're like, you get that one halfway and then There's one just hops down and starts breathing fire at you, and then you're freaking out, running around because there's fire everywhere, and you have to try to kill the one that's almost dead. Yeah,
That's a really good one, and I agree. And I'm just gonna be real quick about this, and then we'll move on. But like, I really wanted to talk about this. This whole reason I brought up Dark Souls was for me to go to what I'm about to say.
I'm ready.
You guys already know what I'm about to say. We saw it a couple of days ago, but like, and you guys will agree with me on this. I'm sure he's in your top 5 probably, but like Artorias, man. Artorias, that's my guy right there, dude. That is it's hands down, in my opinion, one of the funnest boss fights I've ever experienced in a video game. He looks badass. The music is amazing. You're just in a coliseum fighting this guy to the death. And I felt like I had what you would describe as like a strength stamina build, right, Cameron? That would be the best way to put it, I guess. And I just felt like when I was fighting him, it was 2 warriors just fight to the death.
Having at it.
Yeah, two warriors fighting to the death, and he was the better warrior. And I felt like a lot of times I was just defensive. Like I would block him and dodge him and block him, and I'm running out of stamina, and he's still just coming at me, just swinging. And it's just that, and the music and everything. It just makes it so. It was one of the best boss fights I've ever played, and I recorded it. I will remember it until I'm dead.
I gotta throw one more lore thing out there for it.
Please.
So I'm sure I think I shared it with you before, but just for everybody else to hear. It's so badass. Like he's the guy on the box cover, and I feel like it mentions it elsewhere in the game because people I hope that they wouldn't be basing all this off of one picture, but like whenever you fight him, he holds a sword in his right hand, I think, or whatever. It's the wrong hand. Like he's not using that hand typically to use a sword, and he's still kicking your ass. He got his arm broken. Huh?
And he's using it with his right.
Yeah,
You say
yeah.
he's left-handed, he's using it with his right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
he's still just, and he's not using a shield either. He doesn't have that because it's broken. So he's like flailing, right?
Yeah, his
And
arm's
he's got
like
his
this.
sword in his non-dominant hand, and he's still bodying you. That's badass.
Yeah. Oof. So
Oof.
cool. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof. Anyways, so I wanted to get past that real quick. Stan, you should definitely give it a shot, man. It was one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah. I'm busy building spaceships, dude.
True. Important. I don't blame you. Go ahead.
Good single player experience for you. I mean, it is an online game, but it goes back like you've done it all by yourself.
Yeah. So now, so are we good? Is everyone good?
Good.
Good. Okay. So the next topic that I wanted to bring up today is I want to bring the list back, boys. I think this is something that if we set parameters and we figure it out, boys,
Figure it out, brah.
we're gonna do really good with it. So
My body's
I'm
ready.
gonna set some parameters this time, and I will start, and then we can like go around the table. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with
Parameters.
someone. We're gonna go. Not too many, dude. Don't get scared. Don't be. Hey, Zidane, don't be scared. I'll take
I'm
care
not.
of you.
My body is ready.
Okay. So we're gonna do a list again. 2. That's the thing, is 2. So it barely is a list, but it is still a list. Otherwise, you'd be here all day.
Can we come back like a lightning round at the end just to spit out some things that we didn't get to include?
Sure.
Lightning round.
Well,
I
Lightning
like
do
it.
an-
I like it.
how about this? 2 and 1 honorable mention. 1. Is that fair?
That's fair.
I'll try to.
That's
keep
pretty.
it to
That's 3.
I don't know what we're talking about, but okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're gonna be racking your brain. Trust me. And then we are going to go clockwise.
I don't know what that is.
I have to go
In
first.
No. I'm gonna go for. You're gonna go last because we're going clockwise. So it's gonna go me. Stan.
I think we see different views.
Yeah.
Do we?
Is
I
that
don't
true?
know. I don't know.
Is that true?
Just say the order.
Yeah.
We're not actually in the same room, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Sorry,
Wait,
guys.
is
This
that-
has
is that
actually all
true,
been a
though?
lie.
Because I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm
call
not
it out. Just
sure.
call
Just
us out.
call us out by name in the order you want us to go.
Okay, I want it to go me, Stanley, Cameron, Zidane, me, Stanley. Again and then
Okay.
again.
Oh, so like one at a time.
Yeah. Well, you thought we're all just
Okay.
going to talk over each other like a bunch of madmen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we typically
No, I mean like
Oh,
I
okay.
say my number one game, you say your number one game. It goes around, and then
who starts at their best?
I say my number two, and then we all say our number two.
No, we're going to do number 2 first. Then we got number 1.
Okay.
Is that
Number
okay?
2 as in best, or number 2 as in worse? So is one
We're
the
going to
best?
get this figured out, by the way, I believe. But
Go.
so I would like to save our best for last, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Go.
So 2 honorable mention, 1.
Just go.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I forgot about you brought up the honorable mention because I had like
Let's
that
do
in my
2,
mind,
1,
dude.
then honorable mention.
But then you brought, oh no. You know what? There's no numerical thing. It is 2 that you really like. No
Yeah,
numerical.
I like that better.
Yeah. No numerical thing. No 1 and 2. Just 2 that you like, and then honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
good.
Love it.
Go.
You like
Wait,
that?
what was the category? Say it one more time.
You
I
never
haven't said it yet.
You never said it.
Well, you said okay, go. So I'm like, wait, is it starting?
Did
Read the category.
I don't even
Go.
know. We're gonna get it figured out, boys. Okay. So the topic, the list of 2. I'm just gonna do this list every time. It's characters. Just video game characters. Pretty broad. Pretty easy. You could go.
There's a lot of
You could
directions
go-
to go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Oh my goodness. You blew my
Exactly.
mind.
You could go a lot of different ways with that. So it'll give you a chance to, think about it. It gives you a lot to go off of. I feel like I should at least tell you guys this information before every episode in hindsight for like the future. But all that put aside.
So playable or non-playable characters?
Oh, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Playable or
Ooh,
non-playable.
even
So even if it's
better.
someone that just shows up in a cutscene.
Yeah.
in a
I
game.
want you
Okay.
guys to know that like this is not very restricted. Okay. So
Okay.
any restriction you might think of, as long as it's in a video game, right?
I am ready.
We're
I'm
good.
drawing blanks, so I'm glad I'm not.
I'm glad I'm
you're
not first
good.
either. I was
I am
overwhelmed by
ready.
the sheer amount of characters.
I don't have my second, but I'll get on it.
I'm gonna bring it
I
back.
have one.
I'm gonna bring us back to Mass Effect because I'm a one. Well, the thing is, this game does so well character-wise that it's inevitable that it's gonna be on this list. And the character that I'm gonna bring up is, and anyone who's played the series would definitely agree with me on this. It's Garrus from the Mass Effect trilogy. Now, Garrus is popular as he's the bro character
Yep.
for your male shepherd. He's also a romance option, I guess, for the females.
Yeah,
So,
boy.
hey man, hey,
I like him
hey.
blue.
No, he's not gay though. He's not he's not like a gay character. So it's like for
Female shepherd.
female characters
Tim
who-
Shep.
and I know a lot of them that really, I mean, they prefer Garrus, man. He's dreamy. I don't blame him. Anyways, he is like one of the most consistent characters throughout the trilogy, and he's kind of like, I always thought of him as like your bro, like your sidekick, like he's by you like the entire time. So no matter what shepherd your character, male or female, doesn't matter, like whatever they're going through, like Garrus is always there to like have your back. He's always, and it doesn't matter even what like branch you go down, like maybe more Paragon or more Renegade. He's the kind of character that kind of conforms to like and accepts like your shepherd and appreciates your point of view. So like that is why I put him so high on my list. And then just the writers who made the character is like really they did like a really, really good job of making a, I mean, you guys ever seen like a buddy cop movie? That's kind of like, that's a kind of a bare bones way to put it, but like, you know, like a partner movie, right?
Mhm.
Or a partner whatever, just you and someone else, doesn't matter like who they are. Like that's kind of the vibe you get. And the thing is it's an RPG, right? There's millions, there's a lot of characters to choose from. But the fact they were able to implement that so well, it just really speaks highly to BioWare and that game in general and the character. So he is without a doubt on the top of my list. And I had to add a Mass Effect character because I'm a fanboy.
Garrus.
Yes, sir. Even his design, he looks cool, dude. Turians, I've never seen an alien like that in a video game. It's so fucking cool looking.
Mhm.
Looks like a bird, human, fucking reptile, almost really.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
it's
say
so
reptile.
cool. Yeah, like it's cool, man. He's great. He is such a like the trilogy wouldn't be a masterpiece to me without him. And I could go on about I could have like 7 to 10 of the characters on my top list, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Garrus from the Mass Effect trilogy. So I'm done. I know I've gone about enough, so I'm done. Stan?
All right. So mine is for totally different reasons, but the first thing that came to my mind was the Gravemind from Halo 2. The very first time you ever see a Gravemind in the Halo series. I still remember that cutscene almost word for word because I just think it's the like most badass cutscene I've ever seen in a game. It is just fucking wild. So for those of you who aren't like Halo fans, so the Gravemind is like a hive mind being that comes about from this like parasitic alien thing. So there's this thing called the Flood. They're like little creatures. They latch onto you, take over your body. They use your biomass to contribute to the Gravemind, and the Gravemind is like 100 brains glued together. So like if your Flood infection gets bad enough, you get a Gravemind, and the Gravemind is actually like super spooky nonsense. Because I read a couple of the books, and like just so the Flood is actually like it was engineered, or it is like the remnants of like a super ancient, super advanced alien species. So that's why the Flood or the Gravemind's opening line is like Cortana's like, "What is that?" And he says, "I am a monument to your sins," which is actually a reference to a war between those aliens and the ancient humans that existed before the first firing of the rings, which like everything in like our universe happens after the first firing, and then everything in like the Forerunner series happened before with the original Flood infection. So there's just like there's a ton of lore packed into that, and he's just a badass guy because he just like you and Arbiter just going about your businesses, and you jump off that tower thing after you kill the guy.
After you punch out Regret.
Yeah. You jump off the thing.
Knock
and
him out.
I remember that line too. "This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it." And he grabs you with his tentaculars. So he grabs you and sucks you down there, grabs the Arbiter, and he's like, "All right, kids, you're being stupid. Both of you."
It's
Look
funny.
at this. And then he shows
you do
them.
that because he's almost like a child playing with its toys in that
Yeah.
scene, because he's literally holding all the main characters like
Yeah.
as if they're like Barbies or GI
As if they're
Joes.
toys.
Yeah.
And they're both just powerless. And that's super creepy because what the Flood is it's like the remnants of like a super ancient alien species. So that kind of implies that like the Flood has like a sentience that it
Is that why
carries
you-
between instances. That's why I like it so much, because he's just
Between
this crazy
instances,
thing like of their own lives. So like the
Right.
Gravemind that exists in Halo 2 is the same one through the whole series, but
Right.
he says,
constant.
"I am a monument to your sins," which makes sense considering the lore, but that lore was like millions and millions of years before that. So how does this Gravemind that was just formed know about that?
So you would say one of
So
the
he's
strengths and
he's
why you
honestly
like the
like almost
character is
omniscient.
because of the lore? Like that's
Absolutely, but
yeah.
it's just he's portrayed so amazingly. Like he's this badass, like ancient evil alien guy who knows everything about everything, and he doesn't care about you and your entire race and your stupid space force. He's just gonna pick you up like dolls and shake you around and tell you to play nice. And if you don't do it, he's just gonna whack you out. He just that's the end of the cutscene. He's like, "All right, I told you. now you're gonna go do it. And then he just teleports you to where he wants you to go. He's like, in Halo 2, he's like a god. And then in Halo 3, he's like a god you kill.
I kind of get old god vibes. I know it's not, he's
Ooh.
not or anything,
So-
but I do kind of get old god vibes from the
he
character.
actually, he kind of is an old god, because that just reminded me. So you remember the last scene of Halo 3, or the
And
last
Lovecraft,
mission
like,
of Halo 3?
Cthulhu type stuff. Yeah.
So when you're like, so the plan in the last mission, again, spoiler alert, if anybody has managed not to play Halo 3 by now. So you're like going to just, you're on the Ark, and the Ark is rebuilding a ring to replace the one that you destroyed in Halo 2. And it's still in progress. And you are going to blow it up because the flood is on it. So you want to blow the flood up with it. And there's a grave mine there. And like as you're getting close to the control room and you're about to make it blow up, the grave mine like does one of those grave mine cutscenes, and he screams, he's something like, I've conquered galaxies of flesh and bone. And like he literally is like an ancient evil alien god. The grave mine from the Halo series. And it's crazy
Badass.
because he
Super
was
badass.
just made out of glued together like guts and stuff.
He glued together
no,
guts.
that-
Like they cut up some Marines and some aliens, stuck it back
Crazy.
together, and it remembers where humans came from.
That's crazy. Yeah, that concept is really crazy, and it's like, I mean, you're right. It's one of the strongest like points of like the Halo lore and whatnot. So, and I know Stan is like the Halo equivalent of like Cameron with Dark Souls. where it
Well, maybe
comes to,
that.
like,
Okay.
yeah, when it comes to like lore and shit. When it
Mhm.
comes to Halo lore, is what I was gonna say. And now he's leaving, but I was about to transition to him.
I
There
was
he
just
is.
moving forward.
There he is. So I'm gonna bring it over to you, sir. What is your
Yeah,
favorite
character.
characters?
I'm trying to keep it. I like to try to be stretching on where I go with my video gaming. So I'm gonna do something I haven't talked about. I really like Corvo from Dishonored.
Ooh,
Because
Okay.
like, I mean, there's not the character's all right. Like,
I like
the
that.
lore is pretty cool. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna save him, but he gets the powers from like the outside or whatever. But just again, this is just kind of I like the lore of the game, but really the gameplay is where that takes me. Why it's so much fun. His powers are just so cool. I mean, he can teleport, which is always cool. It's just a blink, like blinking World of Warcraft mage. Ooh, that's another one I thought about picking for this.
Mage.
always a
World of
fun-
Warcraft.
As a character, I mean, just in general, the moves that he had, like they're cool as fuck. They have so much
I
variety.
guess
Whatever.
that would work, but you're
So
kind of
that's-
stretching the
It's character.
point.
Okay, true. So the Corvo, I mean, he's got teleport's super fun to use. It's really nice in the stealth, but it's cool like in combat. You can just teleport up, drop attack on somebody. He's got like a win. Have you played Dishonored? Who's here
Yes.
plays Dishonored?
I have not.
I've beaten the first one. I never ended up beating the second one. I played halfway, like I picked Corvo and I played like halfway through, but I never beat the second
So
one.
in
But
the-
I parody.
So the first one, I've beaten both of them and like the second like the DLCs that come with them, because like one of them is like a full game almost. But
With
so in the
black
second
guy?
one, black girl on the boat.
Oh, that's a girl.
yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So they added in the second one. Okay, well in the first one's DLC, your blink changed. If you didn't move in the air, you froze time. And then you could teleport. So in the second game, Corvo could just do that. It was Dowd in the first game that was able to do that. So freezing time in the air to pick where you want to teleport was super cool. The wind blast thing could throw people down or like throw them into a wall so hard it killed them, or blast doors open. So if you wanted to be aggressive, you could just. Also, you could stop time just in general. So when that game first came out, people did like Dishonored creative kills, like videos, which I'm sure they're still out there. Go look them up. They're really fucking cool.
That
Where
would
they
be
would
fun.
they just did creative stuff. Like they'd have people throw grenades. They'd stop time. They would blast the thing back to them, and then it would blow up. That was very simple compared to what they came up with.
We're
But
gonna have to link some of those later.
I know I'm gonna have to look them up now. I'm kind of excited to look
Yeah.
at it. But they just basically made creative kills in that game, and it was all Corvo. I mean, Corvo was just a total badass. There was other powers. Those were my favorite ones. He could summon a rat plague onto people to just eat them.
Just tear
And-
them up, dude.
Yeah, and then I mean, on top of his powers, he was just cool. He's like almost. It's not edge lord, but you know, he kind
No,
of
I
edge
don't-
lordy.
I don't think so at all.
He's
In
got
fact,
the-
I was. I'm sorry, Cameron. I didn't mean to like.
No,
I
you're
didn't mean
good.
to cut you off, but like, what you brought up is what I was waiting to talk about. Is that one of my favorite things about Corvo was his appearance.
Dude,
I thought he looked fucking sick.
his mask was cool, but I'm pretty sure like underneath his mask was like a burlap thing also. So it was almost on the edge of creepy because it was like a nice metal mask with burlap underneath, so it had that nasty, creepy look.
Hannibal Lecter shit.
Yeah. So I yeah, he was just cool. I think that all around badass. His sword was cool too. It was like a switchblade, kind of like it folded out.
Kind of
so that-
short, like not very big. Like it was just.
He's an
something-
assassin. So
Yeah,
assassins in all games are pretty dang cool. So I'd definitely put him up there and one of my favorite characters just because I think he has the coolest power. I mean, he's very unique. I don't know. Really like him. Really good game.
Side note, real quick. Is the second one like worth a full playthrough?
For
compared to
sure.
the really?
I think both of them are worth 2 playthroughs because I beat the
First
first one
playthrough.
playing it how I feel like Corvo would have played it, kind of like not having to. I didn't think he would not kill anybody, but like
Only kill when he
I
had
can't
to.
exactly like if it was like I got caught and I couldn't see myself getting away, or like they caught me or hurt me or something, so I'm gonna they almost killed me, so I'm gonna kill them, kind of stuff. And then so then I play the first playthrough like that, and then the second one I love to play aggressive because in those games there's parry repost also, which is really fun. And then like I said, the wind power, there's a lot of different powers I didn't try out the first run through, so I always like to try stuff out and be like bad and kill everybody, just play it as like a combat game. So even more so in the second one, you can actually play 2 different characters. You can play Corvo or like the Empress from the first game, and she has powers also, but they're different powers. So like instead of a blink, she has like this black tentacle thing that reaches out and like pulls her to where she wants to go. So it acts like a blink, but it's unique. But she just has different powers than he does, and play aggressive with different powers. I mean, it's cool. Totally worth the second playthrough. And the DLC are worth playthroughs also because it's just the gameplay's fun.
Got it. So the second game's worth it to you. I'm probably gonna go back and give it a shot then, because I feel like I didn't give it enough of a shot. And I like you, I really liked the first one. So
Story wise, on the second one at least, I couldn't tell you much about it. First one had a cool, interesting maps and stuff. Second one, it was just mainly gameplay, I'd say, but still really good.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that's a really good pick. Definitely a fan of the character as well. And now I'm super excited to hear what my friend Zidane has to say.
I actually struggled with this until about, I don't know, 2 minutes
He went and
ago.
looked at his game.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that why
I
you
took-
were?
I
Is that
turned
why
to-
you were wandering around?
No, I actually had to go to the bathroom, but I turned around. I was like, I don't know who to pick. Like, there's so many. I was like, my mind was blank. I was thinking James for a second from Fallout 3, your father, and right, and then I was like, well, maybe Ghost from Modern Warfare 2, not specifically because of the character, but the turning point when the thing happens. Spoiler
That's
alert!
a solid character.
If you haven't played Modern Warfare 2 yet, sorry, he dies.
Get a life.
But I was like, those aren't good enough. And then I turned around and thought for a second, and I was like, Solid Snake.
Oh,
Like,
my guy.
how can I not pick him? Like, he's been in every
balls.
he's been in every generation from Nintendo until recently the PlayStation 4. Like, he's just an iconic character. You hear his voice, you know who he is. Like, half the time, I'd say most people even know the actual voice actor's name, David Hayter, who was not in Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, but whatever. That's when Konami went off the deep end.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cooler.
Wow.
How's
what?
that cooler? That's not.
Kiefer Sutherland.
That's
mean,
not.
funny.
That's not Solid Snake, man. And like
I know.
this might be nostalgia taking over, but going back to the PlayStation 1 and playing Metal Gear Solid, you're just like, I'm a fucking badass. All right, I can sneak past anything. Your vision is a cone. You can only see in a 30-degree angle. I can do whatever I want. And the story was good. You know, the characters. It's just there's Meryl, Otacon, Liquid Snake. There's just so many. Robo Ocelot. First time you see him or meet him in the Metal Gear series, I believe. In the boss fight with him, how he ricochets bullets. Like what the. Definitely Solid Snake. Like there's a big fan base for him, and I am definitely one of them.
I have to look at my game consoles.
Excuse me.
And just try to figure out my honorable.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's good inspiration. Zaidane's smart.
I was like, I don't know, man.
Zaidane, I think that is a great pick. I think you said it really well when you said like iconic. I mean, it doesn't get more iconic. Probably like Link and Metroid and Mario and
like, a lot of Nintendo characters.
Master Chief, like though, the Doom guy, like those are like iconic characters, right? And he is definitely, like you said, at the top of that list. So great pick. And I learned something new. I learned Keither Sutherland. Keither fucking Sutherland. That's hard to say, by the way. If you try to say that 3 times,
it is hard.
Keith Sutherland.
He was the voice actor.
Keither Sutherland. Keither Sutherland.
Get shit on.
Eat my ass.
Stan's got a bigger brain. What can I say? So that it's just growing as we speak.
So
yeah, that's definitely
just the hot air.
All right, so now we're gonna do kind of a lightning round with the second one. Figure it out real quick. I will go first. So I hate to be a broken record. Cameron kind of changed it up.
You don't hate it that much. You're still doing it.
I kind of go, but no, I don't. I really don't, because I think it's so good. It's not Mass Effect. It really isn't. It could be. I could easily do it, but I'm not going to. But it goes back to, so like last week on my list, I had WoW in my thing, and I'm going to do it again because the lore in WoW is top tier. And I think this character was always one of my favorites, and they did him really fucking dirty a couple expansions ago. But it's Vol'jin from World of Warcraft. He is the troll racial leader in the game. He was in the game from vanilla all the way up until Legion. He was just aesthetically, he was an awesome looking character. He was just this big blue troll with these huge mammoth tusks. I even made my characters kind of look like him, because my first character in WoW was a troll hunter, like everyone else who plays the game.
Did you know about this guy at the time you made that character?
No, but I went back and like made another character like afterwards. Based off of him. Not my although my main one
character.
My main one, honestly, my classic character did kind of end up looking like him just naturally without knowing about it, which I thought was kind of funny. But he had like 2 big mammoth tusks. He had a big red mohawk. He was this big blue menacing troll shadow hunter. Super cool lore, super cool looking character. And what I liked the most about him was the trolls were probably one of the more dishonorable races in the Horde, probably next to the undead. And he kind of was like the other side of the coin for that. He was very honorable. He was an interesting, like, he kind of like fought like a tyranny at one point when Garrosh was like in control. Like that's like a lore thing, but like he just did everything he could for the Horde, and he ended up dying for it in the end. And to me, that's an awesome character. A character that like was badass looking. He had an awesome weapon too. It was like a 2-handed blade and his bow. But just a character that stood up for like the Horde and himself and his values until the end, and then died for it. Like just a solid character. And I was really upset when they did kill him. Yeah, Vol'jin. Vol'jin from fucking WoW, World of Warcraft. He's solid, man.
So, you saying that reminded me of something you said once, and I want to repost your own joke back to you. You remember? I think we were watching the trailer for Shadowlands or something together, and it was like it was another feature of like the same character, and even I recognized the character from the Wrath of the Lich King trailer. And you're like, is this another Sylvanas cutscene? What is this? World of Sylvanas?
Yeah,
or whoever
right.
that was. That was the first thing I thought of when you said your thing. When you said it was gonna be a WoW character, I'm like, it's gonna be fucking Sylvanas or something.
So
Or like someone from the
school-
lore.
Yeah, and Vol'jin is definitely from the lore. I mean, I could write a whole fucking paper on all these characters, but so like for
Do it.
Sylvanas,
6 pages. MLA.
by tomorrow.
1.5 space.
Oh,
Teacher?
that's horrible.
Turnitin.com by 12 p.m. midnight o'clock.
Midnight O'Clock.
Now.
All I'm gonna say is that Sylvanas was like a really good character, and
Yeah.
then I feel like they really shit on her within like the last few expansions, as Blizzard has done with most of their characters in the WoW universe, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
that's all I got to say. Vol'jin is solid. Garrus is fucking awesome. Like those are two like really like just really solid video game characters. Stan, think of a second one that you've got. Might not
Oh,
even
I
be
got
your
a
favorite,
second
just something you
one.
really like. Okay.
I actually already thought of this
Right
guy, forgot about him, and then you actually happened to mention him. I'm like, oh yeah, that was that guy. So I wrote it down. It's Doom Guy. Doom Guy is like the epitome of like, you ever seen that meme format? It's like the girl from Vice or whatever, and she's like, this is why I hate video games. It like appeals to the male fantasy.
Yes.
This is the actual male fantasy. Like if there
Doom
was
Guy.
ever a case for that, there's just so much to this guy. So like just a couple like things that come to mind for me. I remember so there's some crazy like fan theory that Doom Guy is actually Link. Like from the Legend of Zelda series. And so the reason they say that, they say, all right, think about it. So like Link at the beginning of every game seems to just get summoned or woken up or just grows up somewhere or something crazy. It's like it's the same guy just over and over and over in different catastrophes throughout time. So what if every time he gets like resummoned to a new catastrophe, he like, I don't know, gets a little bit more hardcore, and then eventually he's like 500 like his own lifetimes old or something, and he turns into Doom Guy, and he's like, you know what, screw it, Hyrule's gone, now we're on Earth, now there's monsters, I'm gonna take space armor, I'm gonna learn how to use shotguns, I'm just gonna blow everything up. It's crazy theory, it's just funny. And another funny thing, so one of the, I don't remember who it was, but someone on the development team for one of the original Doom games was like a devout Mormon or something.
Crazy.
And he justified the game saying it's the most Christian thing you can do is to kill a demon or something like that.
Yes,
He's
sir.
like, that's how he justified it. Is like, you're killing demons, like you're going to hell and you're putting those guys down.
Doing
Showing
it
them
for Jesus.
you're giving them the good word.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
So, Doom Guy's just one of them good old boys.
He's a
He's
good
like,
boy.
Get the
Good old time Lord boy.
build a wall, keep the fucking demons out.
All right.
Whatever those people, whoever made that link, Doom Guy theory, whatever they're on, I would like to have some because
Right?
it's some good shit.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna blow up.
It's a
everything
thing.
now.
Look it up. Yeah. He just
wild
got
for me.
grouchier every time he got woke up. Just like
But
me.
that is that's pretty accurate. I mean, most of us get, at least I get angry every time I get woken up. More
Yes,
so
sir.
every time. So definitely a possibility. Cameron.
I had a hard time, and then you kind of started talking about almost like mascot characters,
Wow.
iconic. Well, earlier
Oh.
you were like this, they just make an iconic thing that kind of remind me of like they used to have like mascot characters like Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I mean, it was kind of up in the air between Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Daxter.
And
'Cause
you
you-
chose Jack and Daxter because you're a man of culture.
I chose Jack and Daxter. Uh, I've never
Yes,
beaten
sir.
one, but I've beaten 2 and 3. Again, this goes back to like the first one was out. I was just a dumb kid playing video games, and then I was a little bit older when I played the other one. Still a kid, but a little bit older, so I could actually finish them and stuff. But he just got so much cooler. Like you became Dart Jack in the second game and got guns. Like it totally just changed it. It was like Grand Theft Auto mixed with Jack and Daxter, because Jack and Daxter 1's nothing like 2 and 3. But you just had guns and you could jump on like cars and drive around. It was open world. It was wild. You took this mascot character and then you put him into Grand Theft Auto, sort of, and it was wild. And then in 3, it was similar, but then you also had like the second side of your powers. So you'd have Light Jack, and you would have like healing powers, or like eventually you could get like wings and like fly for a little bit. It was crazy shit, and I don't know. It was really cool. It was one of the first games I ever used a strategy guide on, because strategy guides are badass. Also, like I wish I have some. I wish I had more. I have the Oblivion strategy guide. We always talk about that game.
Oh, I have that one too.
Strategy guides are so cool, but
They
I
really
used
are.
to find the orbs to level up my like special abilities. And yeah, Jack and Daxter, Jack Daxter's hilarious. I think he's really funny for a character. Favorite thing was in the first one, whenever you would get the precursor, not the orbs, but like damn it, I can't remember the name of them, but the thing you were collecting like 100 of rather than like thousands of. Like he would always do something silly, like when you got him, like they do like an alley oop and then like a dunk or something like that. And
I think it was precursor orbs. I don't know. It's been a while, but
I think it was, and then the eggs maybe were the ones you collected thousands of. But either way, I loved whenever you got them. You were always excited to get one of these random little like emotes, basically of what they are now. And the music was like amped up, and it was just funny. It was a kids game. It was a kids game kind of.
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog's
It's-
good.
It's interesting you say that, because one thing I kind of took from like the later ones is that it was kind of a maturation of Jack and Daxter's character, because they looked a little bit older and they were like darker and just more mature.
That's the second one though, because the first one.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like in the first one they were like that, and then in the second one they kind of matured that, and I kind of liked that about it. And I mean, Mikey, it's just really good. You guys want to get mad at me for a sec? I've never played Ratchet and Clank. I don't.
Same.
I've watched.
I played like a demo.
I don't-
once.
Okay, so I'm not. I thought I might have been alone in that. I love Jack and Daxter. I played all of them, but like,
I really
never partook in Ratchet and Clank too much.
I've been actually thinking about that being one of the games I go back and play. I really want to go back and play Dark Alliance, at least the first one. I played that so many times in my life as a kid. But
Do you have it?
I own it. Yeah,
Okay, I was gonna give it to you.
I think I own it twice for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like I have 2 discs of it. I really want to play that, and I really want to go back and play like the first 3 not Jack Daxters, those 2, but Ratchet and Clank games. Like they're shooters. They're old school third-person shooters, and the guns had a lot of variety. And Clank, the little robot guy, just ended up doing a lot of different things, like helicopter, jetpack kind of guy. It was unique. I liked him.
You guys know who made that one?
I do not.
I was gonna ask the same question. I feel like it's like Insomnia or something.
It might be. Let me look real quick.
But no, I really liked Ratchet and Clank. There was stuff in there. Again, I was a kid, so I want to go back and play it. Like there was guns. Like there was always one called the Rhino.
You're right, Cameron.
Insomniac Games.
There's one called the Rhino, and it was always like, I think the only way you could get it, again, I didn't know, you had to buy it for like an obscene amount of money. So there had to be ways in the game to farm money. I didn't really have the internet then. I couldn't just look it up and be like, all right, how the hell do I get this thing? Which I don't like to do, but going back to a game that old, I'm going to do it. And I want to get those crazy guns I never got as a kid and just see what they're like, because it'd be a nostalgia hit, and it would, Ratchet and Clank.
Nostalgia
Jack-
is the best high.
Both
For
really
sure, dude. I kind of respected Zidane last night, because after you left, he was still playing Dark Souls. He was streaming it, and he looked it up eventually, but he didn't look up where to get the Great Ember or Big Ember, whatever it's called, to get the plus 15.
Mm-hmm.
He went down and looked like an actual gamer. He just went down there and looked like a man, like
That's how
a
you gotta
grown ass man.
You got to play Dark Souls through blind. Every new one, you got to play it through blind.
I know. I feel like I was asking you too many questions on my first one. So when I play the second, I'm not gonna. No, it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. But like in the second one, I'm not gonna. I don't want you to, and I'm not gonna ask any questions unless I am stuck as stuck can be. I'm not gonna like.
I think it's different though. I think it's really. I think it's cooler to ask people a question rather than look it up on the internet. Like my brother has now played through all 3 Dark Souls things, and on the first one, so maybe you'll just blow through the second one because he asked me like hardly any questions versus the first one, but he would just ask me things, and I think it's cooler to play something asking your friends or whatever family on how to do something rather than just getting it looked up, because then they give you that insight, and it's kind of like back to that old school thing. Because before the internet, you had to be like, hey, how do I mean, I didn't really experience this, but you would have had to been like, I can't do this, or
get a player's guide.
I'd have the instance of, hey, can you come over and beat this? Like kids used to ask me that in school.
It's more of like a social thing, Cameron, like what you're saying. And I actually, now that you bring that up, that's like a great point. And like you'd go to school and you'd be like, dude, how do I do this? Like, how do like what is this? Like, where do we go? So I definitely see where you're coming from.
That's so funny though that people you see stuck on stuff and they'd have to ask other people to help them.
Yeah,
to help them. Yeah, dude.
My childhood like best friend, I would do that all the
Yeah,
time.
I've got instances of kids being like, I don't know, I just always played games. I didn't do anything else. I just loved games, and people knew that, so they'd be like, "You played this? Could you help me with this?"
That's so
I can
cool,
sure
dude.
come over and try. I can sure small
Love
town
it.
ride my bike over after school.
All right. I'm gonna bring it over to Zidane, and then I'm gonna do a quick lightning round. I'm gonna whip off my favorite character, and then we're gonna try to get to one more thing. I don't know if we're gonna be able to, but Zidane, go.
James Sunderland. After saying Keith Sutherland, I was like, why did I say this guy first? Like, this is. I mean, he's not more iconic, but because definitely not many people probably even know where that he's from.
Tell me about him.
Wait, do you know who it is? I know
Isn't that the guy from? Isn't that the? I can't. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds, please.
You're
not
right.
Resident Evil. Not Resident Evil.
You're trying.
You're so close though.
Yeah, you're very close.
I think he knows.
Yeah, he does. He's just.
I wanted to verify that I knew before you told me, because I wanted to be like, I'm a cultured man, like Foss said. It's on the tip of your tongue. You know exactly what it is. If you've already said that.
Oh, it's okay. I'll tell you.
Well, I want to say Resident. Yeah.
It's Silent
Right?
Hill 2. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the games I've never played, but watch so much lore on.
You need to play it. It's art.
I was a kid when 2 came out, and it spooked the shit out of me.
Interesting. That's interesting that, because I love that game, Zidane, but I'm interested to see why you like
It's
James
everything
so much.
behind the game. It's the game. It's survival horror. You go here, you get this to progress to where the fuck else you need to go. The gameplay is not stellar, it's
No.
but it's the story behind it. It's James dealing with the death of his wife. Why his presumably dead wife sent him a letter to come to Silent Hill to meet her. It's him meeting Maria, who looks exactly like his wife, and he struggles with that. It's his sexual frustration. It's Pyramid Head. It's, oh my god, it's so good.
Is that what you would fall Pyramid Head under? Is his sexual frustration?
No, it's his punishment,
right,
for his sins, which he committed. Which
So why did you say sexual frustration?
I mean, sins and pyramid heads are on my list.
Where's that part
Sexual
come from?
frustration.
Nurses, nurses, the sexy nurses.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't think you're explaining it well. Like, all the monsters in the game are like physical representations of like his feelings, basically.
Yes.
Like the other people in Silent Hill don't experience that.
Yeah.
They don't experience that.
Correct.
That's,
Experience. Yeah. Because everything you said, I was like, yeah, but you didn't. I think you needed to like say that they're formed as monsters.
Yes.
Like
Thank you. I was missing that. That's an excellent point. but it's art. And if you haven't played it, Cam, you need to fucking play it.
Like I said, I knew that. I've watched, I shit you not, like 10 plus hours of this one dude's YouTube channel, Avalanche Reviews. I love talking about YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I watched
No,
it.
I don't. I
Silent
don't.
Hill retrospectives.
Yep.
And retrospectives of other older games. But
Yep.
I've watched that. I've watched many lore videos, especially on Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I love Silent Hill. I think it's super cool, but I've not played it. I played Silent Hill 2 as a kid. Freaked me the fuck out. Foggy little monsters. You would kill them, and they get on the ground, and they'd scurry under cars.
Yep.
Like that was early game. I was like 10 years old. I'm like, fuck, I'm out. I'm not. I'd sit there under the blankets and watch my brother play it. I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
So
And it's and he's the main protagonist. He's the quote unquote hero of the game, and it's so good.
Kinda
He is
wanna-
so good.
Zaydeen, I kind of want to like retort you on this because I feel like I'm not in disagreement that Silent Hill 2 is not a great game. I really like 3 as well, and I never played The Room, but you've told me about it, and I'm kind of curious. Like, I would like to play it for sure. I also played Downpour, which I didn't think was bad. Anyways, bringing it back, I feel like it's more a credit to the writers. And this
Oh,
is just like an
100%.
opinion. It's just an opinion thing, but like, I feel like his character is just, he's almost like, so I expect more from a character, I guess, when I'm looking for one, but like, he's more so the vehicle to what like the whole entire story. He's not really, this is really hard to explain, by the way, just because Silent Hill 2 is such a great game. But like, he's more so a vehicle. He's like this thing that gets us to where we need to go, rather than a great character like what you said before, Solid Snake. That's just my opinion.
I disagree. It's just
I like all the cuts, the voice lines that he says. They're all silly.
well, I mean, this is what, circa 2002.
Yeah, so silly.
I know the first one was made late 90s.
It's early video game.
So the second one
dialogue.
was probably like early 2000. Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
Disagree with that too, because I don't think it's not a masterpiece. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, would I ever put Mr. Sutherland in like a top list? Probably not, because of what I said.
Excuse me, Mr. Sutherland.
You need
sir?
to read up on some more lore, and you might change your mind.
Read up on what the writers did more. Okay.
But it's about him, so it's his character.
I mean, true, but I credit that more to the writers and the lore of the game.
But the lore's based on him.
I mean, true, but like, I don't know. I have trouble explaining this, but I feel like there's a difference between him and like the other characters that we've talked about in that aspect. That's just my opinion.
You said a lot goes here. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
James Sutherland, don't care.
I respect it. I just had to get that off my chest. Lightning round. I'm gonna go real quick. I want to be a broken record again. HK-47 from KOTOR 2. Another BioWare game, Star Wars. It's a fucking amazing character, dude. He is. Let me just put it real quick. If the Terminator and Bender had a baby, it would be this character.
Wow.
That's pretty
Interesting.
What characters of each does it have?
sorry.
Characteristics.
Yeah, what characters does it have? What characters of each?
I was
Sorry,
like,
that was
what?
a stupid question. What characteristics of Bender and Terminator does it have? Like, is it an alcoholic murderer, or is it like?
It is 100% a murderer.
Nice.
But like the sense of humor is where like Bender kind of comes into play. Like the self-aware robot AI, it's a robot. And like I said, his personality is those two things mixed because it's a assassination droid. It's a murdering machine in like the old Star Wars lore. And
Shadows
then
of the
it's
Empire.
also, yeah. And then it's also a, it's got like this like hilarious personality, dude, but it's also like a cold-blooded killing machine. So honorable mention, it has to go to him. Shout out to, because this guy wrote a lot of the characters in Origins.
You can probably move over to Stan until you get it, or Cam, whoever is next.
No, it's not Drew Carter.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, Stan.
So lightning round, so I'm gonna
Lightning
be
round.
super fast. My honorable mention is Gum from Jet Set Radio Future for the original Xbox. I'm gonna drop a link to her. My reasoning is because she's hot. Next.
That's
From what?
Jet Set Radio Future for the original
Yeah.
Xbox. And it's because she's hot.
Yep. Total crush.
Lightning round means I can throw off a lot of things, right?
No, just one
If you're
thing.
quick
Tw-
about
really
it.
fast.
I really like Banjo Kazooie because we're
Damn
talking
it,
about.
Damn
we're
you.
talking about. I was talking about duos. They're another iconic duo. They're so silly. I love Kazooie. I think he's hilarious. Like you have to read it, but he's funny.
I fucking hate you.
Sorry. Greninja from Smash Brothers because he's probably my favorite character in the new ones. Another combo, Ice Climbers and Smash Brothers because I really like duos.
Solid.
And then just Master Chief because we've talked about Halo so much, and I love Halo 3. And Master Chief is just badass.
Fuck
Pretty
yeah.
sure he falls out of the fucking sky in the beginning of that game and lives.
I
So-
think he falls out of the sky in like every game, at least once.
He
It's
does it
badass.
every game because Johnston calls him out for it in the introduction scene of Halo 3. It's like,
So,
why
hey-
the fuck do you always jump, son? Or whatever Johnston said.
Why you always jumping, son? So it didn't go.
Well, I was gonna say
Get
Banjo
fucked,
Kazooie.
go.
Well, it was gonna be two characters from Banjo Kazooie, not just Banjo Kazooie. It was Gruntilda the witch. The they don't have voices. They just make stupid fucking
Yeah,
sounds.
that's what I was just gonna comment on. I love it so much.
When she talks, it's hilarious. It's something-
Whining.
Yep. You just have to hear it and play it. It's a great game. So
There's
go ahead, say it.
there's so many different little voices that are in the game, and I can
Hear them all right now.
I know there's so many different. Like I seriously think we had this conversation recently because I went and watched a YouTube video of the voice lines of. It's out there. You can go watch it. You need to go watch it
And,
because like the
one of them
bees and the
sounds like-
banjos.
One sounds like when someone's farting, like legitimately, like through the voice line.
The
Oh.
mask was my favorite.
What's the guy's
Mumbo
name?
Jumbo.
Mumbo, yeah. God, I want to play. I have the rare collection on Xbox One, so I really should just go play it.
Next. Reasoning because she's hot. Next.
Wait, who?
Gruntilda the witch.
Oh, stop it.
I mean, at the beginning of the game, she's
nice.
when she steals the good looks from Banjo's sister. She's pretty.
All right, you guys inspired me. One more lightning round. We can. Well, this isn't a lightning round. We can kind of go into this, and then we're done for the day. Okay, so think about this hard.
Shit.
Best waifu.
Oh God!
Waifu in a video game. You've inspired
You
me.
got canceled on our second episode.
What? You can't talk about waifus anymore?
Sure, you can. Let's go.
I listen to fucking guys all the time that talk about waifus.
I already used
Fair.
one.
Use her again.
If you've only got one waifu, you're a fucking normie.
I probably do.
I assume video game.
Oh goodness.
Who wants to go first?
I have no idea. I'm thinking.
There's too many.
Is there?
Of course there is. You're just not thinking about it.
So in terms of like legitimately lovable video game characters, like if Max from Life is Strange isn't your dream hipster girlfriend,
What?
oh my gosh.
Oh man, I almost.
No.
Or
I-
not Max, but like
Can we
isn't that the
spoiler
name of the
that?
main character? Max?
Are you
Max?
talking
I said her
about
name.
Max,
Are you talking about Chloe or Max?
Chloe.
Max, the main character.
I don't see it.
Chloe's the better one.
What? The main character, the photographer. Chloe's a nut.
No,
All right,
man. Blue,
Max is a nice girl.
blue hair.
All right. That's nutty.
She's got that skater girl vibe too. It's kind of really
Chloe?
hot. I'm not
I mean,
gonna lie.
Chloe was hot. little
Chloe's
crazy.
kind of freaky. Like I feel like
Max,
she'd
total sweetheart.
kind of fuck me in the ass, whereas Max is just like
A total sweetheart. She's like a cute hipster girlfriend waifu.
she's nice, dude. I'll give her that.
I forget her last name. I'll go next. Miranda, Mass Effect 2.
Ooh,
Okay.
What's her last
Amanda
name?
Polster, Lawson.
Miranda Lawson. Yes, please. I mean, she's walking around the entire time wearing this like skin tight latex suit. Like,
I don't even know how she gets into it. I really don't.
Okay, I finally thought of one.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Cameron. I didn't mean to offend you.
Yeah, no, I just couldn't. You're saying it right. I couldn't think of anything, and then things flooded, and then I thought, all right, okay, now I know. And it was because of Zidane. Also, you played the Final Fantasy VII remake, and goodness, Tifa.
Oh,
Tifa was a tease.
I actually prefer Aerith.
She's like got
Aerith,
this
excuse
mom
me.
vibe. She got this
Stop it,
sweet
dude.
mom vibe, but Tifa's just
Stop
that
trolling.
dirty girl. Tifa's gonna be a dirty girl.
She is. Yeah.
Tifa's a S tier, triple S tier
Babe.
What she is.
Who was the blonde girl in the pink armor from like the first mission of Mass Effect 1? So I played
She's
like the
not
first
blonde.
couple missions.
She's not blonde.
She's brunette.
Ashley.
Yep. Ashley Wilson? Williams?
Are you sure?
Ashley
I
Williams.
believe-
Ashley Williams.
Ashley Williams.
She's in
I
1 and
could've
3.
swore she was blonde.
100% she's not blonde.
Nope, she's not.
Because she does have pink armor. You're right, Stan, but
I'm
she's not blonde.
fantasizing.
I have one
Yeah,
more.
you're just. I thought Stan was gonna say Nova Widowmaker from Overwatch.
Oh, dude, that's see, I don't. That's a
Woo!
skin. That's not a character. But
What?
holy
Widowmaker's
crap.
a character. She's like
Widowmaker is a character, but yes, that's just a skin for her. Like if I say Widowmaker, that means I might also get like ice cold looking Widowmaker.
Dead
I don't
No
want
one
that.
likes that. No one wants ice cold Widowmaker.
Honestly, I wouldn't be able to
Speak
handle
for
it.
yourself.
Widowmaker would intimidate me too much.
All right, Cam, what you
Speak
got?
for yourself.
I think her name was Ashley from Resident Evil 2. 4, sorry.
Oh, Ashley, the
Ashley.
president's daughter?
Yeah.
Gosh, she was
She's-
so stupid.
Yeah, but she was skimpy. She was wearing some skimpy shit.
She'd be like, I'm gonna run down this hallway and then get trapped behind these.
Childhood crush on that bitch.
All right. I mean, I
You
got
know-
plenty more. We could go on forever, but I'm good.
I haven't even said one yet.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Like,
sorry.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
think one of my
Fuck you, Foz.
Out.
what?
He said he really wants to get it out.
Yeah, go Fuzz.
Get it
I
out.
really do.
Get it out.
Get it out.
Do you
Let
guys
it
ever
out.
play Near Automata?
I mean,
I know what it is.
I need to.
I've seen it,
Is
and
it
I think I
B2?
added it to my wish list at one point.
2B.
To be? Is that who it is?
2B or not 2B. I mean A2 as well, but like 2B is 2Bay. Like she's
Too-
so
Too
she's
Bay.
So cute, dude. She's like she's so hot. It's just it's inconceivable.
They definitely appealed to their audience with
Isn't
her.
that all Japanese
So-
shit though?
Yes.
Tell me this again. Near Automata A2.
B2.
Yeah. No, 2B.
Yeah, that one.
Sadly, this is all gibberish.
I'm not lying.
feel
That
bad
was
for you, bro.
so I typed Near Automata and I started going through like Google Chrome gives you like the suggested searches.
Yeah.
Near Automata 2B was like the second suggested thing.
There you go.
I would say another one is Yennefer from The Witcher.
Ooh. Oh, why did I sleep on that?
Tris
Ooh.
Marigold.
Wait.
man.
Yeah, the hot redhead
No,
from The Witcher
no.
3.
Yeah.
Dude, the side
No.
girl.
Dude, no way. No way.
The side girl,
Yennefer-
dude.
Yennefer is so much better. She's like wife material, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that. tramp.
Yennefer? I don't
Get-
know.
Get out of here.
Yennefer's
With that,
like
get out of here with that orange-haired tramp.
orange.
I'm not gonna listen.
Dude,
to you.
Triss was a baddie. I'm not taking that.
I
from
want
her.
it.
You're
I
a
want the
daddy.
podcast was Foz saying orange-haired tramp.
Is that how we start it? Is that how we like start the beginning?
I mean, I
That's
can't. I can probably figure that out.
It's
You want to
Oh.
edit out
was
words?
good.
So
No, I just think it's funny that I don't know. Rare
No,
insults.
no, I said I could
Honestly,
probably figure it out to
are
put it
rare
at the front.
insults.
like I crushed so hard on both Triss and Yennefer that I'm thinking through like
That in
the
my-
logistics of like trying to be in a relationship with either. And I just feel like Yennefer is like the like wife material. Like she's super wife material, but that's like tell you not to stay at the bar late wife material. Whereas Triss is like
I'll go with you.
she was your side girl, man. She was the girl is like, let's go kiss in that fucking like,
Garrett's old, man. He
thing
needs
over
a
there.
wife. Garrett's old, man. He needs a wife. He needs that chick. Come on.
That's
now.
ridiculous. He's not even old. There's no way he's old. He looks
For
young
Witchers,
and-
he's like medium age. For Witchers, I guess. Like, he's
yeah
not
for
old,
his
old.
own age.
For a human being, he'd be old. But
Yeah. So how long is Yennefer gonna live? That's a good question. Because
they
like,
both live a long time. They both live a
so
long time.
what about
Sorcerers-
Triss?
sorcerers-
What I'm getting
She'll
at
live
is
long,
maybe
too.
if one of the girls dies.
Nope. They're
No.
both-
What?
all three of them are gonna live a long time.
Okay. Well, honestly, they may as well just transcend beyond monogamy.
Make sure to comment,
Hey,
like, share, and subscribe.
Wait, I'm not done. Shut up. Mercy from
Oh my.
Overwatch. Like,
oh, I
is-
love it.
Definitely. Dude, you can't not talk about waifus
Can't
and
nut.
Overwatch out of it. You can't nut and not talk about it.
What?
I don't know what
I
it's.
don't know. Cameron was making fun of the way I was
Make
talking.
sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your
No,
grandma.
don't
tell
do
your
anything. Tell your girlfriend about this, and then show her the end of the podcast. She'll love it. It'll be great. She'll definitely like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so we got our stupid like Neanderthal lizard brain out of the way at the end there. Are we good? We're
I'm good.
right?
I'm good.
I think we're very good.
I think I offended Cameron's culture.
No, you.
All right. So I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, Cameron. I can't help it. So that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching.
wrap.
Thank you for watching 8-Bit Opinions. Only the highest tier of like intellectual commentary
It's been
over
good,
here,
folks.
everyone.
It's been a blast.
Yeah.
It actually has been. Had a lot of fun. I do every week with you guys. So thank you for taking the time with me. Thank you, anybody, for watching. And we'll see you next time. See you.
Camp, say your line.
Make sure to comment,
Don't
like,
do that.
Yeah.
share. Okay.